Talk Live, talk radio that you control. That means that you can call 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160. With you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley.
And Richie Rich.
And lots of topics to talk about tonight, including I Buy Crack Houses investor stands by his controversial Cleveland billboards, which
as he should.
Cracks me up. It cracks me up. That wasn't on purpose.
Rim shot.
That is just so funny. It says, "Is your house trash? I'll pay cash." That's another version, I guess. This is from Cleveland19.com. I Buy Crack Houses investor stands by controversial Cleveland billboards.
Is he in a minority neighborhood?
I don't know. Is this
Cleveland a racist billboard?
Isn't he a minority? I can't really tell what race he is. He's very ambivalent. He could be literally just white. He could be mixed black and white. He could be like Hispanic. It's really hard to tell. Did you see his picture?
Yeah, I didn't look that closely, but yeah.
I didn't look closely either, so I couldn't tell you.
Another rim shot. We're on a roll.
The other day, we walked up to a friend, and the friend said some joke to Riley. He was like, "I know you get uncomfortable around colored people." And Riley's like, "You're colored?" Made me laugh.
You should use the image app on your phone, Riley, that describes pictures to you.
Yeah.
And see how it describes that guy.
Just as soon as everybody walks up to you, do it just so you know if they're colored. Need to know basis.
Okay.
Just kidding. So this, I don't know.
Do I cover
Cleveland,
my wallet or not?
Cleveland probably is like a pretty. I think it probably is like a pretty diverse place. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't know if it's like only one specific race. I've been there. Spent a night there, like while driving from New Hampshire to Texas because
I've never been to Cleveland, but I have been to Ohio at least.
Like what part?
Akron and Cincinnati.
I've never been to Akron, but I drove through Cincinnati. It was like kind of creepy highways. Like by creepy, I mean not like ghetto or anything like that. It was the middle of the day. Yeah. It was like, whoa, we're taking a sharp left now. We're going like at least 50 miles an hour. Whoa, we're going right now. And it's like you're going through the buildings. Feels like you're like in the buildings. Does that make sense? Like not in them, but right by them.
Interesting.
And they're like, the highways are kind of like up in the air, right next to like the tall buildings.
Raised highways? Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it was like cool, and I'd rather be there with someone else driving, is what I'm kind of saying. And everything still felt like stone.
We drove through Ohio on our like road trip when we moved to New Hampshire, but I don't remember anything specific about it. Like I don't remember what city we drove through. I don't remember if we stopped at a motel or a hotel, but I have like set foot in Ohio at least once.
It's so
and
many
probably
just
only once.
Fields.
Yeah.
Cornfields and such, and lots of cops. Never got pulled over there, but I didn't get pulled over any of the times I like drove through the country that year. But it is Free Talk Live, and that means you can call 603-283-6160. And I say that because we have a caller on the line, and you can call in like them.
Let's see if he buys crack houses.
Would you buy a crack house, caller?
My house is in Shrewsbury, PA, and has a commercial music studio in the bottom of it. So I would definitely never buy a crack house. But let me
because he's already got one.
let me just say this. And by the way, this girl was like totally sexy, which is really weird. But I had this appointment to because I mean I think I told the listeners last week. I'm sort of on this mission right now.
When you have really low standards, everyone's totally sexy, aren't they, Turd?
No.
Until they turn 15.
Let me just tell this story, okay? Because I think you'll be surprised.
Okay.
So,
I thought it was 16.
No, last week he said he liked 14-year-olds.
Oh. Okay.
Well,
so he's not denying it.
14-year-olds are hot, okay? But listen.
It's gross.
So I'm on this mission to pay off my house by the end of the year, right? So I can move out to Hollywood. And I went on this appointment to sell this bathroom model to this weird place in central Pennsylvania.
The bathroom model's the girl.
It was total crap hole. Looked like a crack house. The cars in the driveway were like half destroyed. Okay, I mean this place is like spooky. All right, and the guy who actually went with me to the appointment, one of the super experienced guys in the office, he was like even creeped out by this. But then, and you'd expect like some like nasty person to answer the door. But the girl that answered the door when we knocked on it was like this hot, young, blonde, like blue-eyed blonde with a really tight body and a sexy dress with like braces inside. This is like the craziest thing.
Okay, but like whether or not she's like attractive to Turd doesn't really tell me if she's like trashy or not. You haven't told me if she's trashy or not.
Well, her name. Well, I mean, maybe she was. Her name was Serenity. She had a daughter name.
Stripper.
So maybe. But dude,
is that trashy in your opinion?
Sexy. I mean,
strippers.
I couldn't even
basically
believe.
Almost a rule.
Okay.
A non-strippy a non-trashy. Oh my god, a non-trashy stripper would probably be like the one out of 100 or something.
Okay.
Not that you can't grow out of being trashy or something, but it's not a sentence for life.
Just to put you through college.
Well, I don't know. I think
or high school.
There was definitely there was a motorcycle in the driveway, so there was definitely some guy in the house, but we didn't see him. I think the guy was like a crackhead.
Because girls don't ride motorcycles?
Yeah, I was like, she couldn't possibly ride the motorcycle?
There is no way this chick rides. I know a motorcycle babe when I see one, and she was not a motorcycle babe, okay?
All right.
Yeah. And plus
Turd knows his stuff.
Yeah, I do know my stuff. But dude, she was very sexy. I was very impressed. And she had really nice teeth behind those braces, too. So, yeah, really, really high-class, sexy little girl. But check this out.
Maybe she was a dude.
Addison Rae's new album is amazing. It's gold.
Oh, yeah, Addison Rae's new album. Yes, you're so right. Sorry, I didn't understand when you said it first. Yes, Addison Rae's new album is absolute gold. I hope it sweeps the Grammys.
Yeah, I went ahead and even ordered the CD just a few days ago because I liked it so much.
Wow. I honestly might do the same thing because, first of all, the CD is like really cute.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty... Oh, yeah, well, the CD, the colors of the CDs, it sort of match the music. Let me just say this.
Are they still selling CDs nowadays?
Yeah.
Obviously.
It's gone retro, man. They sell vinyl again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
that's true. I know they do.
And actually, CD sales are on the rise, too, along with vinyl. I mean, people are just tired of not owning their own media, which I believe I called in and predicted about a year ago, and I said this would happen, and
it kind of sounds familiar. But honestly, I think you might have.
Gen Z's getting into cassettes.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say this too, because this album is like very like neo psychedelic, like neo pop. Like the whole album is like just like drenched in reverb, and like the instrumentation, the synthesizers are very trippy. Her voice is very sexy, neo psychedelia, neo pop, and actually, I don't know if you remember the Coldplay album from 10 years ago, like a head full of dreams. It was the one with Adventure of a Lifetime and all those really like psychedelic neo pop songs on it. I almost liken Addison Rae's new album to that, except Addison Rae's album is like the teen pop version of it. You know what I mean? Very kinky stuff. Highly recommend. It's great sex music, great acid trip music. Oh my God. Like I cannot rave about this album enough. And Bonnie, you were so right. Yeah. And that's why I call you Based Bonnie, because you just have amazing taste in music. And
exactly.
And Addison Rae is a sexy little hoe.
Ew, that sounds gross. I almost felt like I had to drop you. Don't call her that. She's an angel. Thank you, Turd, for the call. I'm so happy you liked my recommendation, and I definitely knew you would. It's really, really amazing. I hadn't heard the term neo-pop, but it actually makes a lot of sense because it says neo-pop is also known as new pop, is a postmodern art movement that emerged in the 1980s and 1990s, and she said that she really credits Madonna, specifically Ray of Light, which was early 90s, I think. Not like, maybe it was like 1997, whatever, but that album really sounds like this sounds like this album. Oh, 1998, so not early, but it was in the 90s. I don't know if it's neo-pop, honestly. Anyways.
What does the wiki say? That's the go-to source for
Madonna's Ray of Light wiki.
I don't know. Sometimes they tell you what genre the album is.
I feel like it's going to be too hard to do while talking and also searching for it and everything. It's only looking up the song right now, like, the song that's on the album with the same name, so look it up later. I'll look it up later.
All right.
Listeners, look it up yourself. Just kidding, that's rude.
On the wiki.
But anyways, thanks for the call, Turd. Glad he liked it. I honestly wasn't really following his whole story about the crack house he went to for some reason, even though he totally
It's where the hot chick was with the motorcycle and no dude.
Yeah, but like, why was he there when he would totally never buy a crack house?
It sounded like it was related to his day job.
Okay.
That's what it
He
sounds
said,
like to
I
me
went
too.
with a guy from the office. I'm like, all right.
So
I don't know what he does
from
professionally on the side.
He said that he does a DJ job at a stripper. Well, I kind of wish we kept him on because I missed
Okay.
the part about it being with a guy from the office.
Okay. Well, that was like the only indication. He didn't say what he did or why they were there or what office he worked for.
I said DJ at a stripper. I meant to say
Okay.
DJ at a strip club. That's what he said he does recently.
Right.
He like quit his other job to do that job.
So this might have been the other job, right, that he quit. And this was an older story just about a hot chick at a crack house.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it's relatable.
Just somehow finds himself around strippers all the time, even on accident when he goes to crack house.
Okay. It's not that hard. You know where to find him,
Well,
right?
Well, he knows he knows where he works. So
Yeah. It's just hard to find in New Hampshire.
there's apparently only one strip club
Yeah.
in New Hampshire.
In the whole state.
And we'll say, and it's actually in a weirdly like kind of nice area.
Yeah.
Very weird.
I feel like it's a missed market opportunity. And I go like, well, maybe not. If the people around here don't want it,
Is New
I
Hampshire
can't
like
imagine why.
is New Hampshire like purposely keeping it out? Like, are there zonings and people are like, no
I don't
strip
know.
clubs? I almost keep saying crack houses. No crack houses in our towns. No strip clubs.
Oh, there's definitely crack houses around.
Yeah, but are people saying no strip clubs and actually like zoning it out, or is it just a coincidence, or the market it doesn't require another one or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I researched it once just to see why, and I didn't find anything that indicated that there was some relevant law or restriction that would prevent it.
One thing that comes to mind is like if you're like a man, you want to go to a strip club. Do you want to go to the strip club in your tiny town where like everybody knows your car and it's parked right in front? Probably not. They probably just go to Massachusetts.
Yeah, I definitely think they'd want to go to Massachusetts too.
Well, yeah, sure, but if you had a strip club in your tiny town, is it really worth the drive to Massachusetts? Like Keene is a college town, right? If you had a strip club in Keene, you're going to get to see the college chicks because they're likely going to be the ones applying for the jobs. And then who cares?
Or what if they don't apply because they
Or
are
you
Gen
drive
Z
in
and
from
they're anti that
Walpole,
now?
right? And no one recognizes your car in Keene.
Maybe they all do a much safer version of the same thing on OnlyFans, and then therefore they don't go
Okay.
work at strip clubs anymore, and you get all the 50-years.
Or you don't even care because it's not like a taboo thing to do.
Maybe some
Right.
people, but
Like
not
I had
all
a-
people.
I had a coworker. We worked like right across the street from a strip club, and we always got out way too late, and I was always too tired, and I always said no. And then one time, the chick I was dating was like, "Hey, we're going to the strip club with some friends." And I called my coworker. I'm like, "Dude, we're finally going to go to the strip club. Like, swing by after work." And he never answered his phone.
Oh well.
But it wasn't
Miss the store,
taboo,
miss opportunities.
right? It was just like that was our evening's entertainment.
Well, for you guys and that group, but I feel like if there's like,
Yeah, but none of us were worried that someone was going to see our car.
but
right.
the towns of almost all boomers in New Hampshire with the like giant church downtown, I'm pretty sure it's taboo in some places.
Yeah, don't put the strip club up in the boomtown.
So
Put it in Keene with the college girls.
put it somewhere with the crack houses. Put it right next to the crack houses, so
There you go.
the employees can just.
Or
walk,
you can make
walk to
an
work.
old church into a strip club. That'd be
Oh
fun.
my god, that'd be kind
Yes.
of funny. Kind
A
of like
stripper pole instead of an altar. Or
Kind of-
on the altar, turn the altar into a stage.
kind of easy to decorate it.
Yeah.
Make it look like super.
Strippers can pass around the collection plate while they're on stage
There you go.
Oh my
instead
god!
of throwing dollar bills up there.
Or you'd have to have little like altar boys doing it.
Sure, yeah, you could do it that way too.
It'd be turd get relegated to that job every night.
Could you imagine that? Like you feel so obligated to all of a sudden tip the stripper, even if you were like in the back because someone shoved a basket in your face.
Yeah.
She's dancing. Pay up.
That's a good point. Don't they feel obligated anyway? I hope they feel obligated anyway. I don't know. I don't know how. it
No,
always
you
works.
shouldn't feel obligated. If she's not your thing and you're not enjoying her dance, you don't have to pay. But
My
if they shove the
friend-
basket in your face.
My friend who did stripping in Las Vegas said that it sucked because they like not caused you. They told you had to, or they like had you pay a fee to go in and strip, and sometimes it ended up not worth it. Can you imagine going and
Oh,
like you pay to have the privilege
Yeah.
to strip there? Can you imagine going and stripping for a night and you like barely cover like your fee that you pay?
yeah. I mean, that's a sign that, find another profession. But that's
It's
not,
like everybody wants to do it. And it's like an oversaturated thing there. So she said she made
Yeah.
way more money in San Antonio where we're from.
but that's
I was
not,
like, I don't wanna give
that
up money.
setup is not uncommon, right?
Yeah,
Like
I guess
barbershops or hairdressers, right?
Yeah,
They got to
yeah.
rent the chair.
Yep. But I guess in like Las Vegas, it's like oversaturated. Like everybody's like, well, I'm going to be a stripper. I guess we'll go there. And then like a bunch of tourists who maybe just, I don't know, don't care, don't never usually go or something. I don't know. Just like doesn't seem like it's that fantastic of a job where people think like, oh, I'm going to go and get rich enough to actually work, blah, blah, blah. And also,
you got to be good at what you do.
I told this girl I know that's not my friend anymore, she's so annoying, that my friend who's a male told me that a stripper said to him, like only in the last few years, like, I could be making more money on OnlyFans anyway right now. And my friend said, or at the time she was my friend, she was like, that's not even true, because she used to be a stripper too, separate person I know. And she's like, that's not even true, because like, I guess she did both, and she said that like it's mostly like just the top dogs on OnlyFans that make money, maybe like MLM thing, somewhat. I don't know.
Well, it's how well you're at self promotion and how hot you actually are.
Yeah,
right. Like there's a bunch of chicks on OnlyFans not making any money, but maybe more than they would go and do like a normal day job. But they're not, there's only a handful making the six figures or whatever, and it's because they produce content that's worth that amount of money.
And promoting stuff. Well, the only thing would be more embarrassing than like family friends and such finding out that you made an OnlyFans is like finding out you made a failed OnlyFans. Nobody wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Couldn't get people to subscribe. Pretty awful.
You should be able to.
Pretty awful. So
there's enough lonely dudes out there.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
Speaking of interesting ways to make money, let's read about this guy that buys crack houses. I don't see anything wrong with his billboards, first of all, as far as like, oh, the government telling him to take it down or something like that.
I don't think it was the government. Was it the government? Okay.
I don't know. I haven't read it at all.
All right.
It's from Cleveland19.com.
A reputable news source.
Thank you, Riley.
It says billboards stating, yes, I buy crack houses, and your house is trash, I'll pay cash, have been appearing around Cleveland recently. Some neighbors say the messages are offensive. Why he picked, yes, I buy crack houses, we don't know, but it's in poor taste. A neighbor said to the billboard near West 78th Street and Lorraine Avenue.
It's a niche market. There's probably a lot of investors who don't want to invest in a crack house because of the amount of you're going to have to put into it to make it resellable. Right? It's more expensive to flip a crack house.
It says businessman John Williams put up the billboards and claims he is investing in these homes to improve neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
Which sounds like it.
I mean, again, he's going to flip it, right? Mm-hmm. So, he's not, or rent it for whatever. He's not buying it to live there. It's an income property.
Or buying it to keep it a crack house just because he wants to collect them.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, we have a
it's already generating income, selling crack.
Oh my gosh.
It's an income generating property.
He bought a business.
He did.
In the building again.
It's a turnkey crack sales business.
Well, we have a caller on the line, so I'm going to see what's on their mind. Caller, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I took my dog for a walk, and she wasn't peeing for a while, and I asked her if she had a medical issue. She finally pooped, and I said, without even thinking, I swear, I'm not like, yeah, it's a joke, but I actually said it without thinking, oh, you didn't need to pee. You just needed to take a turd Ferguson, because I was listening to the show last night, and I had turd Ferguson on the brain.
Perfect name for him.
Yep. Hey, your Odyssey membership, it's not accepting payments. It's not set up.
I saw something was wrong with Odyssey payments, and I was wondering if I should look into that, like when I was reading the ad yesterday, so maybe I'll look into that on the break. But it wasn't like us, it was like Odyssey
problem.
Yeah.
Right. But you keep advertising like it's on.
Which is why I said I thought of it while I was reading that yesterday.
But it doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, so Asherah poles are interesting. They're not like stripper poles at all, but or Ashtoreth or Ishtar, depending on which culture.
The thing where the kids like the maypoles, isn't it the same thing?
I'm not sure, actually. I don't want to say yes or no because I'm not. Probably that kind of makes sense.
Well, what's interesting about it to you then?
Well, no, I just you all were talking about pop music, and I went down a music rabbit hole today, and I found Black Widow. I was trying to find the origin of metal and like the first genre of metal, and I know everyone says like Black Sabbath, okay, Led Zeppelin, okay, blah. And I mean, people even make a claim about a Beatles song being the first heavy metal, and also a Queen song. But anyway, I went I'm like, okay, what's the first subgenre? I think that's going to make it more clear because everything before that is proto metal. Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne, whatever, doom metal. Excuse me, not black metal, doom metal. And so there were bands that also I've never heard of in my life that I'm not going to say they're much better than Black Sabbath, but they're way different, and they definitely have more of a depth and like more of a psychedelia. And one that I really got turned on today was Black Widow, and they had a song about Ashtoreth. And actually, your friend, she's not on here anymore. Aria. Oh, by the way, Aria means lion in Hebrew. Lion, like a roaring lion.
Okay.
And anyway, tell Aria to check out Black Widow. I think she would be interested in it as a Satanist. And also, at some point, I would like to give Skeeter my email. I'm just going to give it. I set one up.
That's dangerous.
My domain. Yep. Nope. But I set it up just for him.
That's just
Tim.
email.
Yeah, I'm just gonna name drop myself. Tim at timfanning.net. Skeeter, email me. We're gonna make some mashups of
Is it
Bonnie
Fanning?
screeching over you, and
Is it
we're gonna have a
Fanning?
real good time.
Spell that out just
Yeah,
in case
it's,
if you're going to give it out anyway.
It's Tim at Tim Fanning, like Dakota Fanning.
Okay.
.net.
All right, thanks for the call, caller. If
Now spam him.
I'm not sure what's all.
Sign him up for everything. Double opt out.
I'm not sure what the listener thought was so interesting about him, but I did know a bit about Asherah poles from like learning the Bible when I was a kid, because the Hebrews were not allowed to do the same thing.
Asherah and those things are false gods, and they were not to be worshipped.
And it says here, Asherah
fun.
poles were wooden symbols representing a Canaanite goddess Asherah, often erected near altars dedicated
Said
to
erect.
Baal. What?
You said erect.
Right?
Erecting a pole.
Oh, I thought you said I said it right.
Oh.
Okay. Well, anyways, I also said that. 603-283-6160 is the number you can call in to bring up whatever's on your mind, clearly, if you listen to the first two callers. 603-283-6160. It's Free Talk Live. Are you gonna spam Tim's email? More coming.
Yes.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission,
just
the Wage
wanna-
and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service,
Look,
and the
I
Social
just
Security
want to get a
Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet. You
Come
see,
to
it's
think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but Free Enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue,
Besides,
Washington.
we just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Simon Marks with the Week in Review. And the week ended with President Donald Trump pledging to make a major announcement on Monday about Russia, after a week in which the American leader expressed growing frustration towards President Vladimir Putin. He also announced a resumption of weapons shipments to Ukraine after they were briefly suspended on the orders of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who was apparently acting without President Trump's authorization. FSN's Tony Waterman covered that story from our Washington bureau.
President Trump says the new shipment of weapons will include Patriot air defense systems, which have the ability to detect and shoot down Russian missiles. But the weapons won't go directly to Ukraine. President Trump says they will instead be sold to NATO, which will then distribute them to Kiev.
In the Lone Star State of Texas, there was a week-long search and rescue operation after the July 4th Independence Day floods that inundated the Texas Hill Country in the early hours of the morning. More than 120 people died. More than 170 people were still missing by the end of the week. 14-year-old Ruffin Boyette and his 11-year-old brother Piers survived the floods. They were, like so many others, attending summer camp in the Hill Country.
All of the campers in those cabins had to go up on the rafters, and they had to wait there until they could swim out.
The flood started getting bigger, and it was going up to, we have bunk beds in our cabins, and it was going up to the top bunk, and we had one choice, and we had to swim out of our cabins.
On Friday, President Trump described questions about whether his government's cuts to the National Weather Service had any impact on the size of the death toll as evil. There was lots of activity in the realm of tariffs during the week. The US leader threatened 50% duties on Brazil unless its authorities halt the trial of former President Jair Bolsonaro, who is accused of leading an insurrection to overturn the outcome of the country's 2022 election. Meanwhile, the European Union is still in trade negotiations with Washington. FSN's Will Denzelo covered that story from Brussels.
The EU has until the end of the month to reach a deal, or risk duties on European goods rising from 10% to 50%. Countermeasures worth roughly $25 billion are set to come into effect Monday, but EU officials say they can be suspended if a political decision is reached.
The UK economy shrank by 0.1%, contracting for a second consecutive month, a surprise after economists broadly predicted a rise in GDP. It came as a blow to the Labour government, which has made economic growth a key priority. The Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves, admitted the figure is disappointing, but said she is determined to kickstart growth. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
You can help spread the ideas of liberty with our Patreon for just $5 per month at amps.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and that means that you can call 603-283-6160. We want to talk to you about whatever is on your mind, whatever you want to say out to the country, whatever you want to argue with us about or get someone's opinion on, whatever you want to do. Just call 603-283-6160. And I'd like to thank Scott for being an amplifier with us here at Free Talk Live. That means that Scott went to amps.freetalklive.com and signed up to support the show. AMPS stands for Advertise, Market, Promote, and Support. Thanks to Scott and everyone who supports us. Again, that's amps.freetalklive.com if you'd like to check out the perks and benefits of becoming an amplifier. Thanks so much to Scott and everyone that supports us. We really do appreciate all of our amplifiers here at the show. And with you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley.
And Richie Rich. She pointed at you.
She did?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even see her pointing.
Go, Riley. It's your turn.
Just basically like a habit, I guess.
I didn't even see you pointing, Bonnie.
I've thought of multiple things I've done around Riley. Like, sometimes, like, it's like, yeah, there's this thing you don't even think that you do, but, like, when someone says something funny, you look to another person to, like, laugh even harder with them. I do to Riley all the time, but it feels kind of normal. I don't know. I feel like maybe he hears me turn towards him or something.
Maybe.
The extra wind as Bonnie's hair whips towards Riley. Whoosh. Oh, she's looking at me.
Hits him in the face. No, I don't really wear, like, ponytails. I'm not hitting Riley in the face with my hair. But yeah, I always think about stuff like that. I never think about stuff like that. Like, I didn't even think about it until you pointed it out.
I catch myself doing it too, and it's equally funny in my head.
I'm glad Riley thinks it's funny.
It's like, darn it, I did it again.
Well, my family and some of my closer friends do the same thing. They forget I'm blind or something.
Like all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's more habitual when there's a person there as opposed to, that you're blind. Yeah. Like, I sit here, and when you're talking, I turn to look at you, and you don't see me looking at you. And then when Bonnie talks, I turn and I look at Bonnie.
Yeah.
It's just what I do.
He just wants you to know he's listening, Riley.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. I'm listening too. I'm looking your direction.
I think this is a really funny story Richie Rich brought in, and there's not much more to say about it, but...
It's just funny.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Like, some dude wants to buy crack houses and advertising it.
I think it's funny,
people
but
are
also...
offended.
There's a lot of discussion to be had around it, depending on what direction you want to go, but there's not much to the actual story.
It's similar to, like, what Riley brought in. He brought in a story we'll probably get into because it's interesting to me that a group of consenting adults with a dance group that the population around there deemed too dirty of a name, or maybe their dancing style I haven't read the article. We got to get into it later. Like the community got it shut down. Like, is the community going to get these billboards taken down or force this guy to not be able to say it like that?
There might be a petition. Yeah.
It's like when the pho noodle place in Keene, New Hampshire called Pho Keene Great New Hampshire opened. The city tried to make them change their name and ultimately failed. And then when the Mexican restaurant Margaritas in town painted their own building yellow, the city council tried to force them not to have a yellow because it was like too different from the other buildings. That's just so messed up.
I'm trying to stand out as a business
This is the problem with gangs and city gangs and people being offended is they want to control everything instead of being like, oh, well, this isn't harming me directly. I may not like it, but I'd rather let people just be people.
Yeah, but city councils and thugs that joined the government are basically just control freaks who got actual power. It's like Sarah when she was annoyed by the color, or no, it wasn't Sarah, actually, my bad. Sarah called in with this long saga about a neighbor that was annoyed with the color that somebody painted to fix up a fence. Like a fence looked nasty. A woman volunteered her time and money, I guess, to paint this fence pink, but a male neighbor was mad about it and painted it gray. It's like, you didn't care enough to fix it to begin with. Might as well just let the lady paint it pink. But it's like, it's this idea that things that don't affect you do affect you. Like the color of margaritas or the fence.
Which again, to like riff off of the conversation we had with a caller last week, the ideal society is one based on private property rights, right? Where those people, they can complain and moan all they want, but they can't do anything about it because they don't have the right because it's not their property. Right, you don't like my yellow building. Okay, just don't patronize my shop. Right, that's
look at it.
Or look at it. Like that's the extent of what you can do because I own the property and it's not yours.
It's like when my younger siblings, who are like adults now, were children. They were a boy and girl of almost the same age, like a year apart, and they would fight over absolutely everything. And like one of the things that they were always fighting over was like, Elspeth is looking at me. Like when they're in the back seat and they don't want to be in their car seats and they're tired and cranky, like they'd be like, Christian's looking at me, and it's just, that's like what a child does. That's what basically you feel like you getting, if you feel like you get to change the color of somebody's house.
It's like we've never grown up, and I think that's the problem with statism is statists think they have the right to control what someone else does in the name of keeping the peace or making a community safer or whatever it may be.
Well, I'll suggest it's also because they put democracy on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Right? So if you can get your neighbors and the government to agree that this guy's not allowed, right, then they will gang up on him and make sure that he's not allowed.
Yep.
Right? If they can they can gang up and say like, hey, Mexican restaurant, you can't have yellow, even though it's your property, right? And they can have all their thugs and fine them and suspend them and do whatever. Well, then they're not allowed because, hey, democracy.
I think it'd be cute if, like, instead of that, every building was just like, you know what, we're all going to go with colorful colors, and they all painted it colorful.
That'd be really fun.
But you know what? That is subjectively my opinion. The next person might not think that. Luckily, it's their property.
And they would also have to find another way, right? Because if all the buildings are colorful, then none of them stand out, and the idea is to stand out.
Yeah.
And that would be good advertising if Margaritas could be a yellow building in the midst of just gray and brown buildings.
You could bejewel yours.
You could, yeah.
There you go.
You would have to find another way to stand out, whatever that way is. And it would be innovation in the marketplace or
this
whatever.
Guy found a way to make his advertisements stand out, that's for sure.
And now he's getting advertisements on national radio.
That's a good point.
That he buys crack houses in Cleveland.
Did we even learn the guy's name yet? Yeah, it says businessman John Williams put up billboards, and this is, by the way, from Cleveland19.com.
So, John, if you're listening, here's your free advertising right here.
Better than a no, probably not better than a billboard. Billboard's local, but whatever.
Local and people buying houses.
I'll say it anyway.
Local.
Better than a billboard.
Businessman John Williams put up the billboards and claims he is investing in these homes to improve neighborhoods. Oh yeah, we did read that. What we do is buy homes generally that are dilapidated, abandoned, and they are not occupied. See, is that as fun to say on a billboard?
No.
We buy dilapidated, not occupied, abandoned buildings. Nope, not as fun.
And crack houses.
I mean, if you say it's a crack house, it's going to get somebody's attention.
Yeah. Just the when you see the word crack house in your peripheral, you're going to look. Try to, like, what does that say? Yep. He said no one is living in them. Maybe the crackheads that run away in the daylight. I don't know.
Or it could be the squatters.
Yep.
Right. It could have squatters in there.
They seem to typically run away in the daylight. At least all these videos that I've seen of people sneaking into abandoned buildings, and they're like, "Oh, someone's living in here." Usually, they're like gone in the daytime.
Yeah, maybe. But there's also the ones that will squat and then claim ownership, and then it's hard to evict them. Right? There's plenty of stories of I couldn't get rid of squatters on my own property because the state won't allow, and they have rights and
physical removal.
Yes, please.
So he says, what we do is buy these properties, we fix up these homes, and they're affordable housing. It sounds like, other than like the fact he seems to be engaging in what's it called, not Title IX, I always mix them up.
Section 8?
Section 8 housing, because that's what affordable housing, it's like the Affordable Housing Act or something like that. Other than that, it sounds like he's trying to fix up neighborhoods and maybe do a good thing by not letting a nasty house go all rotten right next door to you. Yeah. And you're mad about the language he chooses to use on the stupid billboards. So freaking, people get in their own way being just like pearl clutching and annoying.
Well, and if you don't like it, buy the house.
Yeah.
Right?
And stop being a righteous moralist.
Yeah.
The house is for sale. Like you can also buy it.
Yep.
And do what you want with it.
You can always buy crack houses, but he thought of it first.
He did.
Buy the crack house and just don't advertise it. Do it quietly.
Uh-oh. Looks like the gang is getting involved. It says Cleveland City Council President Blaine Griffin said the billboards are not a good way to do business in the community.
Who gets to decide that?
He said...
Customers get to decide that.
Right. That's exactly right.
And it shouldn't be the city. It's the customer that gets to decide it. If he doesn't get customers because of the way he advertises, that's on him.
Yes. It'll be a market signal to change his advertising tactics. You don't need the city council to get involved.
Exactly. But people don't realize this. They think that the government is the ultimate solution to people's problems and offensive things should be taken care of by, guess what? The government. No, it should not.
Just by force, too. Not by any actual good, like already created, well thought through system or anything like that. Like, the market, people, you can read all about how it works.
Yeah.
But instead, let's just do everything by force after our subjective pearl-clutching opinions, bubble up in our hearts.
We will tell you how to maximize profits in Cleveland, good sir.
Even though he doesn't have a real job, he's a city council president. Yeah. So he said maybe it should be with some people that are, wait, I don't know what this means. Maybe it should be with some people that are reputable, but not with somebody like this coming to clearly make a mockery of our neighborhood.
How is he mocking the neighborhood by calling something a crack house?
Well, I don't know, but also the credibility side, he probably has a realtor friend, right?
Probably,
that he's trying to do business with.
I think he actually does. Yeah, why he picked...
A reputable realtor? A reputable home flipper? He's got a buddy.
Yeah, it says what we do is buy homes, so it's not doing it all by himself.
Yeah.
And it's just... I don't know, trying to clearly make a mockery of our neighborhood, that's kind of messed up because it's like, yeah, he's going to buy the crack house, but then he's going to change it to make it nicer. So overall, just saying, like, you think he just put up a billboard to say, like, your neighborhood's trash, and that's it? Like, no.
No. If he wanted to do that, he could just say, hey, this neighborhood is trash.
Yeah, pay to put up a billboard that says, this neighborhood is
But instead, he wants to do business to fix up a house that he's labeling a crack house and hopefully make the neighborhood better. But instead, the city gang is involved, and they don't want him doing such things because it's mocking and ridiculing.
The only person who accepts, yes, it is a crack house, is the owner of the crack house when they sell it after seeing a sign that says, I buy crack houses. They're like, oh, I have a crack house, and they sell it.
This is also a council member who wants to look the other way and doesn't recognize the problems in his own district.
Yeah, about the crack.
If he's, crack or, he's got abandoned, dilapidated, breaking down houses.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's like, you're mocking us. Like, that's the most important.
But if it's there, it's in your district, homie.
Yeah.
Right? Like, do something. If you're not going to let him flip it, then do something about it.
Yep, that's a really good point.
And what are you going to do as a council member aside from steal other people's money to fix it up the way you see fit?
Yep. Yeah, he should be, like, helping this guy out.
He should be.
He should get a real job and start, taking down the doors.
Thank you for beautifying our neighborhood, bringing in higher income earners, and improving the tax base of our area.
Fruit basket.
That would be a better idea.
Yeah, but no. They don't think like that because they're not business people. They're thugs in suits.
That's a good point. I said on the phone to Ian when the guards were really annoying me at the prison guards, I was like, these people just suck at their jobs because they have never had to actually do customer service. They've never had to do a good job at anything in their lives. They just get to be stupid people that like click buttons, follow rules, and that's why they suck so bad.
And bully people.
I don't remember what all I said, but I was like, they never had to do a good job in their life. They never had to actually do well at anything in their life. And
Be
then
of service.
The boss of the
They're just prison guards, and prison guards are not of service. They're just guarding a prison.
The boss of the prison guards told Ian that I'll get kicked out of visiting him if I talk mean about them again.
Bullies with an ego complex.
And I like hurt their little fragile ego.
Everyone they oversee is compelled to listen to them without question.
And everybody's beneath them because prison. And then you're visiting a prisoner and somehow that makes you beneath them. It's like
a little weenie
you could be a
tyrant.
billionaire visiting a prisoner, but somehow you are beneath them to them because you're visiting a prisoner.
Yep.
That's exactly how they work.
We don't associate with those people.
I've already told this story, but I'm going to say it again. There was a lady that had to like put Ian through a metal detector or whatever the crap is they do when you get to prison, and it just kept beeping for no reason. And she's like, "Do you have like metal in your arm or something?" He's like, "No, last time I checked." And I don't remember the whole exact thing, but basically she said like you can't have like a high you can't be that smart if you're in here like in prison. It's like she's probably like a 30 IQ dummy who can't do a job unless it's just follow these directions. You sit in your seat, like type directions, and she's calling Ian stupid.
It would have been even funnier if Ian said, I'm a mastermind, right? Like, that's why I'm here.
Criminal mastermind.
I'm a criminal mastermind. That means I'm way smarter than you.
That's basically what the judge even said. I think you're too smart for your own good. So stupid.
Yeah. Well, again, I've said this here before, but my favorite thing that I heard in the whole thing was he's such a criminal that he did everything in his power to not break the law.
Yeah.
And that's how we know how smart he was and how good of a criminal he was, because he broke no laws, just like a really good criminal would do.
Yeah, they were trying to say
really good criminals would not break the law?
Well, apparently, that's the logic of the judge in this case.
Yeah, the actual judge, by the way, not like a prosecutor trying to spin up some stupid thing to change the jury's mind. The actual judge. So.
Yeah.
Yep, it is absolutely, that's something that happened.
Really? I thought that was just being a good citizen, Your Honor. I broke no laws, and that's evidence of guilt?
Yep.
Apparently so.
I would call him your dishonor, but that's me. That's just what I would do.
That's mean?
No, I said that's me.
Oh.
As though that's something I would do. I would call him your dishonor.
I thought you said, I would do that, but that's just me. And I was like, well, you're allowed to be mean to judges. It's morally okay.
Yes.
At any time.
Yeah.
They wear funny hats and funny... I mean, I actually didn't even mean to say funny hats. Funny robes, yeah.
I like when Mark calls it a moo-moo.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
That is pretty
A grown
funny.
man in a moo-moo came out and was telling me what I can and cannot do.
Grown man in a moo-moo on stage.
Yeah.
It's pretty hilarious. And a tiny little hammer. I barely ever see them use the hammers. I feel like they know how ridiculous it is. And they're like, I'm not even going to use the hammer. Unless it's really necessary anymore.
Yeah, maybe when courts adjourn. I mean, there might be something ritualistic about it. But you're probably never in a court where things get really out of control and they got to bang the gavel to like reobtain order.
Yeah, I might have not paid attention, but there were multiple times during the trial that they yelled at people for like me not wearing a mask right at the beginning. That was so annoying. I just like had to breathe. The crowd laughing at the FBI agent who testified, I only work for very moral people in the FBI, and the whole crowd laughed. That was great. And the judge yelled at us and said any more outbursts, and he would like kick us all out.
Sorry, Your Honor, comedy is spontaneous.
It's
Sorry, your dishonor. Comedy is spontaneous.
And it's like, we're all wearing masks. How do you know who laughed? Silly.
Good point.
So annoying. So this guy, the gang member, I mean, not the business owner, he said, when you mention crack houses or abandoned houses, it gets attention. Seriously, he can't even say abandoned houses. Like, that's not, like, disparaging at all.
It's meant to get attention. He's trying to buy houses.
It's a billboard. What billboard is not meant to get attention?
That's the whole point of the advertisement, to get attention to his business so he can make some money.
Oh, wait, is this still the... Oh, yeah. It's actually William saying that. I was like, what a dumb statement. But yeah, he's saying that to defend himself. He said, when you mention, so it's not the gang member, it's the business owner. When you mention crack houses or abandoned houses, it gets attention. It brings attention to the issue, and it also brings in leads, which could acquire these properties that are just sitting there.
Yes.
It's a big win for everyone, which is kind of what we're trying to point out.
Amen.
Some people may say using that specific word is not good, but the properties do exist, kind of like what you're saying.
It's there.
And
you can ignore
city council member
to
should
your
know
peril.
it. Yeah. We all see them, he says. I guess he probably lives around there. We all either choose to accept that it is that or ignore it. It looks like it's been a problem that's been ignored for decades. Bam.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because until he came along, the city council wasn't allowing it. And no one had the intestinal fortitude to put up a sign that advertised that they'll buy it.
It'll be funny if
fix it up.
The Griffin, the gang member in the city council, has been a city council president for decades, which, I don't know, you probably have to be there for a while to be a president, but that would be hilarious. It'd be like directly at him. Griffin,
it's a feud.
It's the city council president, says he feels these billboards are disrespectful and should be taken immediately. Taken? Does that mean he wants like the police to go get them?
Well, or the billboard company takes it down.
Whenever you
Is
talk
it disrespectful if it's true, though? Again, he's ignoring the plight in his own neighborhood that he's a council member of.
Yep.
Right? You're a council member in a neighborhood with dilapidated housing, and you're not doing anything to improve the situation.
Except making fun of a billboard maker.
Except trying to stop the guy who is. Like one of them is actually trying to affect positive change, and the other one is griping about it.
I really want to know what race the council member is now, because I read ahead. Blaine Griffin, I'll do it later, but it's funny because he says...
Sounds white.
He says, whenever you talk about your house is trash, we pay cash. And whenever you talk about... First of all, he's a weird speaker. We buy crack houses, and you come into a predominantly poor African-American community, you're sending a clear message. So is it his opinion that, like, African-Americans are crackheads or something?
He said the quiet part out loud.
He said
That's
that.
what he did.
Well, he said what he thinks out loud, and that's pretty... This guy is just telling on himself.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This has been a thing for years, and, you know, we shouldn't talk about it.
For a decade, this black neighborhood has been living in dilapidated crack houses.
And this guy's trying to help, but... I don't know why. It almost seems like some government, entities or, groups like a city council. It's like their job is to keep people poor and down and suffering and not getting any better. Like, why else would you be so anti this man coming in and cleaning up a neighborhood?
Because it makes him look bad as a city councilor in a neighborhood where they have, like, dilapidated crack houses.
Yeah.
In a predominantly minority area, apparently.
That's what he says. He says you're sending a clear message. It is clear to him.
Very clear, yeah.
He says you're being condescending, you're being demeaning, and you're being disrespectful. Honestly, this guy kind of looks like black to me. I'm pretty sure he is.
The realtor now?
Yeah, like the person in the picture that says, yes, I buy crack houses.
Okay.
I think he's like black and white.
Mulatto?
I honestly, is that what that means?
I think so.
Okay. I never really I feel like it sounds like an insult, so I didn't know what it actually means. If it's just a factual statement and that's what it means, it's one thing, but I always thought it was a bad word.
It's not the N word.
It sounds like the M word for like retarded people. I can't remember what that is right now.
I'm pretty sure that's just retarded.
No,
you're
there's
pretty sure you just said
M word for retarded. Okay,
Really?
I forgot retarded was like offensive when I said that, I guess.
Well, retarded could be offensive to some people.
It is now. It didn't used to be.
Yeah.
It's got. If you look it up in the dictionary, it just means slow, and
like
those retards
slow
are usually slow.
Progressing of development.
Yeah.
So it's like you can have a retarded multiple things.
So if I say flame retarder, am I being offensive?
I think it's flame retardant. I'm not sure if it's the same word.
It's the same root.
Oh, it is?
It just
well,
means it'll slow the spread of the flame.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Slowing the progression.
Yes.
So like you can retard someone's speed by like popping their
Speed
tire.
bumps. Yeah.
Speed bumps.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was imagining like we're in, some kind of little like Mario Kart, like hit them with a shell.
That'll also retard their speed.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Especially that darn blue shell.
It's like people just don't.
Which is a lot more avoidable in Mario Kart world. It's pretty cool.
Is that a new one on Switch?
Switch 2 now.
Oh, there's a new Switch?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, like I knew that. I mean, I would have thought they'd make a new Mario Kart, but not that they made a whole new Switch. I just didn't know that. It happened so fast.
Yep.
In 2020, it was just like the biggest thing was like Animal Crossing.
I'm still playing Animal Crossing.
The Switch one?
Yep.
Is it good?
I mean, I've got over 1,000, maybe even 1,500 hours in it. And I play it daily.
I've never had a Switch.
I've given up one island, so now I'm just focused on one island.
So you had to.
But I still play daily.
Nice.
Did you play any of the older Animal Crossings?
Yes. So I had the one on the GameCube. I missed the Wii generation because I had some personal issues, and that one ended up like in storage. And I never had a 3DS. So
I had
for the same reason.
The DS one, like when regular DS first came out, my older brother bought it for us. We were like absolutely obsessed, and then I went backwards and played the GameCube one, which was so fun. So fun. And it's just like sometimes something that's nostalgic and then everyone's doing it. You're like, no, that's like my thing and you guys are all doing it and I'm just not going to participate. I feel like that's what happened.
Go back to the GameCube. I have a few GameCubes. I just put some mod software on one of them yesterday so that I can access like all the games.
Oh, you can like hack it and beat things.
Yeah.
Unnaturally, supernaturally.
Well, maybe not the way you're thinking per game, but like just, I don't need a disc anymore to play the games.
So it's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever topic is on your mind. What do you think about these crack house billboards? Would you be offended if it was in your neighborhood? More Free Talk Live coming up.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Simon Marks with the Week in Review, and the week ended with President Donald Trump pledging to make a major announcement on Monday about Russia, after a week in which the American leader expressed growing frustration towards President Vladimir Putin. He also announced a resumption of weapons shipments to Ukraine after they were briefly suspended on the orders of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who was apparently acting without President Trump's authorization. FSN's Tony Waterman covered that story from our Washington bureau.
President Trump says the new shipment of weapons will include Patriot air defense systems, which have the ability to detect and shoot down Russian missiles. But the weapons won't go directly to Ukraine. President Trump says they will instead be sold to NATO, which will then distribute them to Kiev.
In the Lone Star State of Texas, there was a week-long search and rescue operation after the July 4th Independence Day floods that inundated the Texas Hill Country in the early hours of the morning. More than 120 people died. More than 170 people were still missing by the end of the week. 14-year-old Ruffin Boyette and his 11-year-old brother Piers survived the floods. They were, like so many others, attending summer camp in the Hill Country.
All of the campers in those cabins had to go up on the rafters, and they had to wait there until they could swim out.
The flood started getting bigger, and it was going up to, we have bunk beds in our cabins, and it was going up to the top bunk, and we had one choice, and we had to swim out of our cabins.
On Friday, President Trump described questions about whether his government's cuts to the National Weather Service had any impact on the size of the death toll as evil. There was lots of activity in the realm of tariffs during the week. The US leader threatened 50% duties on Brazil unless its authorities halt the trial of former President Jair Bolsonaro, who is accused of leading an insurrection to overturn the outcome of the country's 2022 election. Meanwhile, the European Union is still in trade negotiations with Washington. FSN's Will Denzelo covered that story from Brussels.
The EU has until the end of the month to reach a deal, or risk duties on European goods rising from 10% to 50%. Countermeasures worth roughly $25 billion are set to come into effect Monday, but EU officials say they can be suspended if a political decision is reached.
The UK economy shrank by 0.1%, contracting for a second consecutive month, a surprise after economists broadly predicted a rise in GDP. It came as a blow to the Labour government, which has made economic growth a key priority. The Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves, admitted the figure is disappointing, but said she is determined to kickstart growth. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN. French President Emmanuel Macron made a state visit to Britain, where he was hosted by King Charles at Windsor Castle and then by Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer at number 10 Downing Street. The UK says it will be returning migrants to France within weeks after agreeing a so-called one-in, one-out deal. Some migrants who make small boat crossings to England will be detained and returned to France, and in exchange, the UK will take in an equivalent number of asylum seekers with a family connection to Britain. Opposition parties described the plan as a gimmick, but Mike Tapp, lawmaker with the governing Labour Party from Dover, where many of those reaching the UK in small boats land, said that he welcomes the agreement.
I'm enthused, I'm positive. So if you're sat in Calais, you're thinking £6,000, up to £6,000 to cross, which is expensive, particularly for these people. But hey, I might end up going back, then you might well think twice. And we don't really know the impact yet, but I think it's a positive move.
Tesla plans to launch its first showroom in India next week. The US carmaker's CEO Elon Musk has long said that he wants to bring the brand to India, although he has complained about the country's high tariffs on imported vehicles. FSN's Rebecca Bundan has more from our bureau in Mumbai.
In the first 6 months of this year, Tesla imported vehicles, chargers and accessories into India worth some $1 million. The company had been exploring the possibility of manufacturing in the country, but it is understood that for now it will be focusing on selling imported vehicles. President Donald Trump has said it would be unfair to the US for Tesla to build a factory in India to avoid India's tariffs.
Also in the coming week, we'll see whether enough progress has been made to secure a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza, and new inflation data will be released on Tuesday. The markets will be keeping a keen eye on that. And that is the Week in Review from Feature Story News. Simon Marks reporting.
A dying Chevron executive is excited to one day become oil. A man wearing red glasses and pink pants is probably Dutch or something, and the report of a popular fish's death is starting to get around the tank.
This is the Onion Week in Review. The nation was once again wowed this week by the feats of very strong little boy Michael Sartinsky, who, after removing his t-shirt to better display his impressive physique, deadlifted an entire frozen turkey over his head and held it aloft for 3 full seconds. The latest demonstration of the pint-sized muscle man's almost inhuman abilities comes on the heels of multiple accomplishments involving incredible displays of speed, strength, and endurance. Over the past 4 months alone, Sartinsky cleared the 3-foot chasm between his brother's bed and his own, beat his fully grown Uncle Scott in a foot race, and threw a tennis ball clear onto the roof of his 2-story house.
Pound for pound, I honestly don't think there's a stronger boy on earth. Have you felt his muscles? They're like solid rocks.
This is the Onion News Network.
Yep, we still do email. Drop your email address in the entry box at freetalklive.com, and you'll be kept in the loop with Free Talk Live. Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. That means that you are in control of this show. That means you can steer the conversation into any direction you want. Today we've been kind of talking about like moral outrage, moral panics in different cities and towns in your country. Or I guess if it's your country, the U.S. Our country or the country.
At least in Ohio.
What is a country
Cleveland
anyway?
Specifically.
Yeah, but we're gonna talk about one in Utah, so I guess I was getting
Okay.
ahead of myself in my own head.
What is a country anyway? Is it just a plot of land? Is it an idea? Is it the people?
Imaginary landmass.
I would say so.
Well, the landmass isn't imaginary. I guess the borders.
Right. It's not imaginary. I mean, I can touch this table. I can walk outside and grab some dirt and grass from I almost said Alana, from Bonnie's property and bring it inside and put it on the floor, but I wouldn't do that because it's
Property rights.
Yeah, it's property
How about this? It's a politically agreed upon geographic designation.
Okay. But it's still
Who
imaginary.
agrees?
Other people who run their countries.
In Ukraine right now, they can't agree.
Which is why there's a war.
Yeah.
Right? Like they do, this is what I've always said, right? Like what we do as a polite society is we try to resolve conflict without violence, and then if we're unable to do so, then we get to the violence, right? So Russia and Ukraine are the leaders thereof, because the people don't really agree necessarily either, right? But the leaders of those political designations don't agree on where the land ends and whose ends and whose begins, right? And there's been no negotiations about ceding land or buying land or anything. And so we get to the violence that's been going on for what, like 4 or 5 years now? When did that
Yeah,
thing
it was started in 22. We're in 25 now.
Okay, so 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
At least.
Too bad. And it's actually already past the mark because it was February.
Okay. Yeah. So over 3 years
Mhm.
because they can't resolve a disagreement.
Too bad the leaders didn't just duel like we were talking about last week,
And they could have.
legalizing duels.
Right? It could have been Putin versus Zelensky.
But Zelensky be
Winner,
like, wait,
winner
no.
keeps the territory.
I didn't sign up for this. I'm just an actor.
Fine, then he loses and Russia takes over and only one person dies instead of hundreds.
Yeah. Or
Then
he doesn't have to kill himself. He could just give up or, what's the
He
word,
could.
like,
Yeah.
rescind or I can't think
But
of the word
instead, they're kidnapping their own citizens on the street to take them to the front line to feed them to the meat grinder.
I was hearing
and
horrible
they're the
stories
good
about it
guys.
today. I kind of basically have tried to ignore it for like these whole 3.5 years, and what I mean by ignore it is like not go and listen to like gory details. But I
Okay.
love supernatural stories, and my supernatural podcast, Otherworld, that I love to listen to. I don't mean that I run it. I mean that it's my favorite one that I listen to. It's called Otherworld. He interviewed a guy who he's not even like a soldier there. He's an American documentary maker, and he went too deep into the front lines and was accidentally like getting targeted by shells, and he made it out of there. But I was hearing all kinds of gory details. I was like, it's so freaking much worse than like the average person ever thinks about.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I mean, I'm sure our media would lie about it or isn't telling us the entire truth. Maybe they are. I'm sure that the Russian media is telling their side of the story, and I'm sure that the Ukraine media is telling its side of the story. I don't know what's going on over there, but I don't know. It's
I just mean more period. Like
Yeah.
the average person doesn't really like, oh, I need to go subject myself to these images and thoughts. At least I think
Yeah.
not most of the population.
And it's going to get
isn't fighting.
prolonged because Trump again agreed to send more money.
Whoa.
He ran on the promise to end it, and now he's going to send more money. And I believe some people in the European Union, other countries out there, also agreed to restart aid to Ukraine for the war efforts.
Is Trump 2.0 almost like Biden 2.0?
Do we have a Biden 2.0? He was only a 1. Or are you counting his like vice presidency?
I think you meant just Biden, right?
Yeah, I meant Biden 1.0. Sorry.
Kind of felt like 2 for some reason.
Because he was the vice president.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
definitely probably why it is.
All right.
I don't know, maybe it just kind of felt long. Maybe it's because like they were so similar, you know. Biden,
I'm the peace president. I'm going to negotiate. We're going to end the wars and more war.
Biden deported more people than Trump did in his 2016-2020 one. So it kind of felt like more of the same.
Yeah.
It just felt like one long presidency of like jokes, like clowns, you know? Like when Obama
it's the
was
deportation
president,
imagery.
I felt like when Obama was president, it felt like we had like a normal like person for president. Not that I actually think it's a good thing.
Yes.
I think it's kind of or bad. Yeah, I didn't think that's a good thing. I think decorum is like bad. I think it's good when people make it look like a joke because it is. So that's just
Obama's eloquence
how
and
I see
decorum made all the bad stuff look palatable.
Or just like, this is what happens. You just got to accept it. But we've been talking and we have a caller on the line. So I want to get to the caller. With you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley.
And Richie Rich.
And I pointed at Riley again. Well, caller, what's on your mind? Who were you talking to tonight?
Right, and when I was 20 years old, I was attracted to 16-year-old girls. When I was 25 years old, I was attracted to 16-year-old
you're not going to catch me in a hypocrisy.
It's not even really bad. Like 16-year-olds are legal in lots of states. Whatever.
Yeah, a 16-year-old.
You know he's just being politically correct because he was on his podcast. You know he meant 14.
You don't know that.
No, I said 14. I said me and a buddy of mine saw a girl in a hot dress. And then he went, "Oh, dude, she's 14." I went, "All right, well, off limits." Right? But you can't tell from far when they're...
How much have you had to drink tonight,
Plenty
Skeeter?
of 14-year-old girls are just not attractive or just look young.
Well, or some of them are if they develop early.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not like, blanket statement, 14-year-olds are hot, like Richie Rich wants all of them.
Skeeter, how much have you had to drink tonight?
How much, Skeeter?
Not enough.
Well, maybe you should drink some more.
Kind of embarrassing
You
for
know
you,
what
Skeeter.
a country is? You guys know what a country is?
It's a made-up idea. It's a made-up idea.
No, it isn't.
No, it's a made-up idea.
Isn't.
Yes, it is. No, it isn't.
There's actually people willing to defend that idea, unlike libertarianism.
That makes it not made up.
What is a country? It's a land
People are willing to defend. People are willing to defend their imaginary ideas. Think about religion.
Co-owned by their citizens.
What is a citizen?
Yes, co-owned by the citizens, just like an HOA. Right?
HOAs are good.
Is this for every country? Is this for every country? Hold on. I want to know. Do you think this is for every country?
For every modern democracy.
Okay.
But,
so monarchies were not countries.
Well, I'm talking about modern democracies. I'm trying to get.
Well, we're trying to. Well, no, we're not. We're trying to define the term country.
Like the UK was a country and a monarchy, right? Or
Well, that's what I'm saying. He said the definition of country is that which is collectively owned by its citizens.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So therefore, no monarchy was ever a country because it wasn't collectively owned by their citizens.
It's pretty dumb, Skeeter.
Let me get to the point I was.
No, not until you clear up your crap definitions.
This is the point I'm trying to make.
You don't get to make a point if you're using terrible definitions.
There's no coherent distinction between public and private property in modern democracies, the ones that have...
That's because they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
That actually just sounds fake. Like, in modern democracies, there's no such thing as private property versus public.
There's your problem with modern democracies.
Sounds like it would be a problem, but it also sounds fake.
Lock-in democracy, a.k.a. libertarianism. We're already in a free market. There's no distinction whether you're talking about public land or you're talking about the common area in the HOA. What's the difference?
Not everybody lives in a HOA.
They're both privately owned. What's that?
The public area is not privately owned.
And not every privately owned house is part of an HOA. So like you always try to use that to make some kind of point when it's like this house isn't under an HOA.
I'm talking about within an HOA.
But you said private property doesn't exist.
Like their own country.
You said there's no differentiation between private and public properties. So you can't just say, when an HOA is involved.
There's none. Public property is the same thing as just co-ownership within a private market. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, well go ahead and start building on the front steps of the courthouse.
Do you know how co-ownership works? Even under libertarianism, you need permission. You need the agreement of all the owners, whatever the.
Go try to get a vote started to build something on the front lawn of the courthouse. Then.
Oh no! See, and I disagree with that.
They won't even let you get a vote started.
I don't even know what you're.
I think that even with public co-ownership, the way it stands now, it would be within the same concept of joint and several, right? If everyone is equally responsible and individually responsible, then anyone can do what they want, and someone can come in afterwards and change it back.
You could also just make that clear in a contract straight up. Like nobody gets to do something without agreeing with everyone first or a vote. Yeah. Or you just leave it like Richie Rich is saying. That could totally be a way that people set up their co-owned private property. It
also doesn't work the way you say it works, Skeeter. Because if I don't want something done, right? Like if they're gonna take land through eminent domain, and I go like, I'm not voting for that. Right, and I refuse, well, then they can't do it because I'm withholding my vote. Right, but they do it anyway because it's not collectively owned. They do it to the detriment of people involved.
No, it's not. No. Richie Rich just told you it's not collectively owned, dude.
No, it's not. He's wrong because collective ownership is a wide spectrum of a type of control.
Is it though?
You just have to have some. Yeah, you just have.
Why do you believe that? Why do you believe it's a wide spectrum of control?
Be quiet.
No,
I'm trying to explain. You don't jump in a movie and ask the director, hey, what's going to happen here?
This is not a movie, though.
Yeah, but he's got people that does that.
Okay, it's not going to make any sense if you keep interrupting me with.
You've never made sense. We just shut up and let you talk, and you just monologue, and you still don't make sense.
No, I don't monologue like an old man, like freaking Jay, like you do Jay, right? You don't even give me like 10. I never get even 10 seconds to rant. I'm always meta arguing.
Maybe you should try not being like annoying, insulting, irritating voice.
And wrong.
How did I insult you? I
just mean generally in general all the time.
We're just talking about your general overall tone.
Did you just call Jay like dumb or something?
No, I said he's an old man that rants. You let him rant. You don't even let me rant for even a fraction of the time.
Dude, you call into the show every time we're on the air, dude.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to have a meta conversation about me, right? I'm trying to talk about.
Start with proper definitions and build your argument, and we wouldn't have to interrupt.
I am.
No, you don't.
It's like you'll try to like be like, let me talk for like
definition.
You'll be like, let me talk for like 10 seconds, but you'll say something that we don't agree with, so we can't have a conversation.
Here's the strict definition of co-ownership. Here's what you can build on, right? Co-ownership is a group of individuals each individual has at least some partial control of that property within a given time period. That's co-ownership. Now there's a wide spectrum of.
Okay, so pause there.
About the courthouse
yes, thank you, Bonnie. Pause there. I have zero control over any time of what happens in the courthouse. Zero. They won't let me do anything. They won't let me do anything, and they can restrict my access at their pleasure.
Yeah, then you don't. Well,
then I don't own it. It's not collectively owned.
Let me
by
just
your definition, Skeeter.
Thank you.
Let me just do a slight
start
correction.
over.
It's a normative definition, so it's who should have control over the piece of property within a given time period. You should have some part. So in the context of a court, right, you actually do have a say within your vote, right?
No.
I mean, within your vote, you can vote if you're a citizen of that state or country.
You don't get to vote for like the judges.
The court system.
Yeah.
Right?
So you don't get to vote for the prosecutors.
Control.
You don't get to vote for the bailiffs.
Hold on, I'm not even talking.
Oh my god, I'll just pause.
Let's also go back real quick because he changed it to should, right? And what we know from reality is that's not how reality works. So then the definition is rejected outright again.
It's just like, do people realize this is how the conversations with him go every single night? Because I'm pretty sure he's being paid to like make the show so annoying. It's like, I hate his calls. If I was a listener, I would not be like, oh, it's great, a Skeeter call going in. I'd be like, oh, this is so annoying. Like, I want to hear them talk about something important or more fun.
We give him more airtime than he realizes.
In a normative democracy with collective ownership, this is how things should happen. And then we look at the evidence and we go like, well, that's not how things happen. We must therefore conclude that this is not a normative democracy with collective ownership because it doesn't match the definition. In reality, it doesn't match both the definitions that you gave.
So now that it's been established that the definitions you gave have nothing to do with how it actually works in real life, what do you have to say about that, Skeeter? No.
So here's the problem with defining property based upon positively, like what actually is. You can't do that because if I steal something from you, that means I own it. right? That's the problem.
No.
So we're trying to talk about, we're trying to discover a normative definition.
If you steal it, it's still my property, and I have the right to get it back. Why is that a difficult concept for you?
It's a type of morality. It's an evolutionary.
You're still going, but you're not pausing to like.
What does it mean? How is what Richie Rich said
we're
as
trying to define
hypermorality?
a strategy to help us determine how we should allocate property, right?
That wasn't the beginning of this call. That's not what we were doing.
Let's assume that that's true, right? Then you have to like check your premise because it doesn't match reality, right? If your situation,
what premise doesn't match reality? That evolution.
You just said it's hard to come up with a solution where we can define private property, and it's not. It's not that difficult, but under your paradigm, it is.
That's actually kind of funny.
Because your premise is wrong.
It's actually kind of funny because he acts like it's so hard to define everything. Like he was like, "Let me give you the definition of co-ownership." So I looked it up just to make sure, just to look it up and have a Google definition. It's like the 3 top definitions are so simple. Like a situation where 2 more people or entities hold ownership rights in a certain asset or property. Pretty simple. And it's like that we even define different ways people could set it up for him. And he's like, no.
Did you dump him or is he back? Okay.
I was kind of talking, so I can't even hear. Did you say the definition had the term rights in there?
No.
That's normative, stupid.
Here's the second one. It says the state or right of owning something jointly with another or others. Right. And then the third one says the sharing of ownership in an asset between one individual or group and another individual or group wherein each owns a percentage of the asset.
And you just insulted her.
There you go. That's just what I said.
Didn't he call you like fatty one? No, wait, no. Sorry, that was David from New Mexico.
I'm fat. Well, he's not wrong. It's hard to insult me because I'm aware of the limitations. And I've either accepted it or I'm working on it. And either way, your opinion doesn't mean anything.
I'm sure Skeeter is a perfect human being, too. Do you guys have more to say to Skeeter?
Nope. Never.
Well, thanks for the call, Skeeter, somewhat. We had another story that had to do with the whole idea of moral pearl clutching, moral outrage.
Oh, we're clutching pearls tonight for sure.
Yeah, and I think that this is... I don't know, just a funny topic. I don't know why. It's just we already started on it. I was like, oh, this other one is the same topic. And it's just always fun and funny because it's really? People act like this? I can't imagine acting like that. The people next door to me are doing something I don't like that affects me 0%. It's playing loud
building
music.
A fence.
Yeah, but I'm saying, playing loud music, you could actually argue that affects you. But dancing in their dance studio they created with a name I don't like, how could you argue that affects you?
Microaggressions, actual real microaggressions, are probably the most difficult minutia to get into under libertarian philosophy and theory.
I agree.
Noise pollution, smell pollution, right?
Yeah.
Oh, if I can smell your barbecue, you're infringing.
Yeah, because
right?
David from New Mexico brought up, I was just trying to ask questions, and I was like, I don't know, it's getting kind of hard to defend. David from New Mexico, it was maybe a whole year or 2 years ago. I think it was me and Lori on the show.
Okay.
And he was saying that he got some new neighbors and they had a generator that's super loud.
Yep.
And I was like, well, honestly, just devil advocate here. What point exactly of volume of a generator becomes too loud and then actually infringing on his peace and quiet? Because you could get into it's raising his cortisol and making him less beautiful. Is that infringing on his rights?
It's a tough area that's probably too conceptual to really get into. I worked for a guy, I was, his personal assistant for a while, and he lived on a marina. And across from the marina was a shopping center. And they would do Zumba at the shopping center, which he could hear from his house very softly. You could hear it and okay, it's coming from across the marina. And I'm like, dude, if it bothers you, just close your door to your office, when you're working, right? Just shut the door and the noise goes away. Why should I have to shut my door and remove restrict myself from this beautiful view of the marina because they're playing loud music across? So
some people just are so weird.
He contacted the city council.
Wow.
I was personal assistant, right? So I went shopping for him to find a decibel meter. He had me go to the Zumba class and sit, the legal limit away from the Zumba class with the decibel meter and monitor how loud it actually was.
Wow.
I'm doing it because I'm getting paid, right?
Professional.
I'm on the clock.
Not,
but I'm like, you're just a curmudgeon, man. Like, get over it.
Yeah,
it's not that
curmudgeon.
loud. Put on some headphones, play some music in your own house, like leave the door open.
Turn a fan on.
Sure. That probably would have worked. Because like I was there for a few hours, every week or every day or whatever, depending on the schedule that he needed me. But like, it never bothered me at all. I just didn't hear it or tuned it out until he mentioned it. I go, okay, yeah, I can hear it, but I'm not bothered by it,
Fan noises can really solve so much headache. Like, I lived in a house that was just maybe like thin walls or something. I could hear every freaking bird chirp. And that's when I discovered the fan noise sound. It's so wonderful. Just like on YouTube even. And then YouTube became so crappy. I bought the premium just to not have the stupid ads wake me up.
Yep.
I also use like a podcast app sometimes, but there's just this amazing one on YouTube that I love. Annoying loud roommates when it's like not quite bad enough to like get into to waste a fight on, because you're gonna fight with them at some point. You know, don't want to waste a fight. I can sleep as long as I have the fan noise, basically in any situation.
Yeah, and I think under the libertarian theory, that's too much minutia to get into. Mm-hmm. I would say generally it would just become your responsibility to handle your little area.
And with the fact that he wanted his door open too, it's like, why should I have to shut my windows if I want to get naked right in front of my window? It's like, well, because like sometimes there are people outside the door doing things like looking at you or making noise.
Yeah. But if you don't want people looking in your window, it's your responsibility to put up blinds, right?
Because they're allowed to stand out in the front.
If you don't want noise coming in, right? It's your responsibility to put up noise barriers and noise deadening systems, right? If you don't want the smell coming over your neighbor's yard, it's your responsibility to put up the fan and blow it away or whatever. I would say like that's the solution is personal responsibility, not trying to figure out how it's not your fault.
Why would barbecue be a problem anyway? It smells good.
Well, because you might be next door to a vegan who doesn't want to smell the rotting flesh and meat. Yeah.
Yeah, vegan. That's
if you're cooking bacon and your roommate's Muslim and they can smell the bacon coming off, and that
kind of sucks.
You're offending my olfactory senses and
tempting them.
Maybe.
I met a Muslim. He was so sweet. I met like one of the nicest people at Pork Fest, and he was Muslim, and he told me he has eaten pork once because him and his friends when he was in high school got lost in the woods and they had some pizza with them and had pork on it. And apparently there's a rule where you can eat pork if it's like an emergency life or death situation. Okay. And my thought was like, you could have pulled the pork off of the pizza, but I'm not going to say
breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It's always important. It's always an emergency. Get that bacon in there.
It kind of sounded like he wanted to taste the bacon and see what it was like, and he saw the loophole and he was ready for it.
Yeah.
And also he survived being lost in the woods, apparently. So
that'd be like a last day thing. Like before cannibalism, we'll go ahead and eat the bacon pizza.
Yeah.
Up until that point, it's probably just a personal choice and he's looking for a loophole.
Yeah, exactly. But I just thought that was kind of funny. So 603-283-6160. That is the phone number you can call just like Skeeter did. But please bring up something way more entertaining than that. Skeeter's so annoying. Call to say Skeeter's annoying and then hang up if you want. That's fine. I would love more people to agree with me on that and just say Skeeter's so annoying. Yeah. 603-283-6160. Call in with whatever's on your mind. More Free Talk Live coming up.
If you're looking for work, the person you are applying to may be even more nervous than you are. And the way things are now, your references have never been more important. Here are 3 tips. First, know that employers are checking. Every hire is under the microscope these days. Second, they won't just be checking references you provide. Figure that all of your ex-employers will get a call and be asked, would you hire him or her again? Third, assume you will be Googled. So before you apply, remove all those party animal photos from your Facebook page. Even if you're not in the job market, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. For more tips for job seekers and getting better results in all your day-to-day communication, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Simon Marks with the Week in Review. And the week ended with President Donald Trump pledging to make a major announcement on Monday about Russia, after a week in which the American leader expressed growing frustration towards President Vladimir Putin. He also announced a resumption of weapons shipments to Ukraine after they were briefly suspended on the orders of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who was apparently acting without President Trump's authorization. FSN's Tony Waterman covered that story from our Washington bureau.
President Trump says the new shipment of weapons will include Patriot air defense systems, which have the ability to detect and shoot down Russian missiles. But the weapons won't go directly to Ukraine. President Trump says they will instead be sold to NATO, which will then distribute them to Kiev.
In the Lone Star State of Texas, there was a week-long search and rescue operation after the July 4th Independence Day floods that inundated the Texas Hill Country in the early hours of the morning. More than 120 people died. More than 170 people were still missing by the end of the week. 14-year-old Ruffin Boyette and his 11-year-old brother Piers survived the floods. They were, like so many others, attending summer camp in the Hill Country.
All of the campers in those cabins had to go up on the rafters, and they had to wait there until they could swim out.
The flood started getting bigger, and it was going up to, we had bunk beds in our cabins, and it was going up to the top bunk, and we had one choice, and we had to swim out of our cabins.
On Friday, President Trump described questions about whether his government's cuts to the National Weather Service had any impact on the size of the death toll as evil. There was lots of activity in the realm of tariffs during the week. The US leader threatened 50% duties on Brazil unless its authorities halt the trial of former President Jair Bolsonaro, who is accused of leading an insurrection to overturn the outcome of the country's 2022 election. Meanwhile, the European Union is still in trade negotiations with Washington. FSN's Will Denzelo covered that story from Brussels.
The EU has until the end of the month to reach a deal, or risk duties on European goods rising from 10% to 50%. Countermeasures worth roughly $25 billion are set to come into effect Monday, but EU officials say they can be suspended if a political decision is reached.
The UK economy shrank by 0.1%, contracting for a second consecutive month, a surprise after economists broadly predicted a rise in GDP. It came as a blow to the Labour government, which has made economic growth a key priority. The Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves, admitted the figure is disappointing, but said she is determined to kickstart growth. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Got Telegram? You can follow our channel there and discuss show prep with other listeners at telegram.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Free Talk Live is a show where you can call in with whatever's on your mind. 603-283-6160 is the phone number. That's 603-283-6160. Free Talk Live is brought to you by LibertyMinded.com. Official Free Talk Live gear like t-shirts and hoodies are available at LibertyMinded.com. Plus, you'll find a unique collection of cool and funny liberty-oriented clothing at LibertyMinded.com. That's LibertyMinded.com. With you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley.
And Richie Rich.
Did you point at me again?
I purposely skipped you just to mess with Richie Rich, and he pointed at you.
I pointed at you.
Okay.
Now we're all self-conscious about it because I mentioned it.
I'm self-conscious about it. In the last segment, we started talking about things like what things don't affect you that people try to use the government to get their neighbors to stop doing, and like at what point do things affect you, like noises and stuff like that.
Where it becomes an actual aggression.
Yeah, pretty difficult conversation because a lot of it's subjective. We have a caller on the line from Utah, I think they said. Tom in Utah, is that where you said you're from?
That's right, and it sounds like you were from Utah too.
Well, I lived there for 5 years. Riley,
I was born and raised in Utah.
Oh, okay, good.
Is it though?
That means you got to be the best person in the world.
I don't know about that, but
What part are you from, Tom?
I'm 10 miles north of Salt Lake in Bountiful.
Oh, nice. I've been to Bountiful many times.
My favorite part of driving through Utah was the speed limit.
High, because it's...
Well, it's like the whole drive from like California to New Hampshire.
Mhm.
Utah had the highest speed limit.
Nice.
It's like 80.
I wouldn't
Just
have
to get the
noticed.
heck out of Utah.
I mostly just stayed in Utah when I was there. Didn't even go to Idaho.
Caller?
Anyway, I'm sorry. I was listening to your program as I could hear it earlier through what's called radio favorites. So I'm not sure I was listening to whatever you'd cut today, but apparently you're cutting your show right now, right?
The great thing about this show is you can interrupt and bring up whatever you want at any time that we're on live. So if you have something to comment on about something we've said in the past, go for it. If you want to change the topic, go for it.
Well, I don't know if you know, but I was approached by a family in 2008.
I did not know that.
And the family was going to lose their child to Child Protective Services, the human trafficking program.
Yep.
And when I got into the case, when I saw the baby and the family members, they were trying to accuse the family of abuse and neglect. When I saw the baby and the family members, I knew they had all suffered some kind of poisoning. It took me a couple of weeks to figure it out, but when I figured that out, I created a real problem for a tenth of the nation. You know, if you're in the West or Southwest or in the Southeast, one of the major housing units people live in is a mobile home. And this family was living in a mobile home. They did not know that they were literally breathing the fumes of their own furnace.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, that actually happened to somebody we know, and he went kind of crazy. Set up his heater incorrectly.
Okay.
Well, not only his heater, but 17 million, all under the control of the federal government.
Because this was subsidized housing that the feds built?
No, every manufactured mobile home since 1976 is under the regulatory controller authority of HUD. And if you walk to the back of a trailer and look on your left side, the driver's side of the trailer, there'll be a tag there, and it will tell you that that unit is the property and complies with the regulation and code of HUD.
Okay.
Now,
what does that have to do with poisoning everyone?
Every single unit made in the last almost 50 years violates code, and they have what's called a blend air or a breathing air intake on the roof, only 3 feet away from the furnace exhaust.
Okay.
That means when the weather's right, the family or the occupants will be breathing a subtle to serious contamination of carbon monoxide and other combustion gases.
If they use the furnace, or when they use the furnace.
Use the furnace, water heater, and even the sewer gases are drafted back in.
Oh, wow.
Did you get them to fix their trailer and they kind of started acting less poisoned?
As soon as we fixed it, their baby's health improved and their health improved.
Whoa.
And the court were angry because they were not going to be able to take that baby and the other children as a consequence.
Is it a common fix for others to perform, or you think that there's people still getting poisoned on a regular basis?
People apparently that put in their own also do it, because the person I was talking to has his own RV, put his own thing in, and next week went crazy.
Okay.
Wow.
And then they determined it was that.
Go to the webpage gassingamerica.com. Gassing like you're gassing your vehicle. America.com. That's where I explain the whole problem. You get to see video and photographs and explanation. You know, you can play in the freeway all you want, and you won't get killed as long as you're not wearing earplugs and blindfolds, right?
I don't know about that, but sure.
All you want.
Let's see.
It's hard to dodge cars going 70 or 80 in Utah.
Your point's just that, people, as long as you know there's a problem, you can get out of the way. Is that what your point is?
Exactly. And I explain on there how they can do it for a nickel, 5-cent fix, or they can do it for a more appropriate fix for a couple of $100.
Really cool.
By the way, Warren Buffett and the gang were not happy when I showed up at a manufactured housing show in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I was exposing this poisoning issue. They had been doing that for, like I say, 40 to 50 years. And, of course, who lives in a manufactured mobile home?
Poor people.
The humble people. And if you're out west or southwest and you're on a reservation, it's the primary fact of housing.
So is your claim also that this was malicious? Like they did this purposely to poison these groups of people?
Every city, county, or state code would never allow what HUD did because it's in absolute violation of every regulatory agency.
Wow.
Well, I mean, you say that, but like products get recalled all the time, right, for manufacturing problems or deficiencies, and like the most popular case to bring up is like the Ford Pinto, right? Because they did a cost benefit analysis and went, well, it'll be cheap. It'll be cheaper to pay the lawsuits and let people die than it will be to fix it. So we're just going to let people die until they found out, and then it became a bigger deal.
Ralph Nader was a friend of mine, and I had him come out to my university and speak to the group. And the problem is, once they've gotten a violation established, they don't want to go back and remedy it because they're open for liability.
Okay. So you're saying they continue to manufacture these houses in this manner to the detriment of anyone who buys it?
You can
maliciously
go to a trailer park right now.
Oh, I'm asking you. You're calling in.
What's that?
I said, I'm asking you. You're calling in. I don't need to go to a trailer park. Just answer the question. Like in your belief, they're continuing to manufacture these homes in that manner to avoid liability to the detriment of anyone who buys it, and you believe that they're doing this maliciously.
That's the only thing that makes any sense. In fact,
that's what I come to. That's what I come to with a lot of things, like the seed oils. Like some of the things they have to jump through hoops to make it the most affordable thing, like get subsidies from the government to make seed oils or soybeans the most affordable situation. It's like they purposely they have to be purposely wanting to poison people, and it makes me wonder if like SIDS is caused by all the poisoning. All these furnitures that you see nowadays that you can buy on Amazon and it gets to your house and you just have to let it decompress and off-gas, it's letting out poisonous gases. People are just like putting poison in their house daily, and it's not just furniture. It's not just if you live in a trailer. Poisons have gotten impossible to avoid in our society.
That's concerning.
Well, then again, I'll go back to like personal responsibility, right? You figure out how to not bring it into your house, and that's the best you can do.
It's pretty dang hard in America when the people who are in charge of saying, what's the amount of poison we're allowed to put in this, that, and the other product, are in bed with the people who are selling the products. Yep. And they say, oh, well, you can have this much. It's totally fine. Or, they just invent things that are poison, but they don't have a poisonous reputation like seed oils.
There you go.
I mean, you're not referring to Donald Rumsfeld and Monsanto and glyphosate or Roundup, are you?
Oh, glyphosate is a huge one like that. Like they get in bed with the government and they say, well, we're allowed to have this much glyphosate, even though European countries let like a fraction of that or 0%.
So you're in favor of government intervention when it comes to glyphosates?
No, I'm in favor of being able to say, use scientists who know what they're talking about to say, hey, this amount isn't safe, and this is what we recommend not putting in, and then you can get a label that says, we comply with these people that you actually trust, but instead it's, oh, well, we only have a government agency that does that job, and you can be in the Monsanto business, you can be in the food business, part of Monsanto, and also be in the regulating business at the same time, and nobody has a problem with that.
Yeah, but you as an individual could do your best to avoid Monsanto products.
But they make it hard because they, like, the whole marketplace is, like, basically poisoned, and you have to be somebody who is just like, hey, morally, I don't want to poison people, and I have enough money to start a business. Even start a business that isn't poisoning people, they make it the most cheap way. Yep. They have to jump through hoops to force it. So people who are just like, I'm a normal person, not like a crazed psychopath, I want to make furniture, they're just going to naturally be like, oh, and this is the obvious choice for like the glue I use in the furniture.
Right. Well, I'm not saying you have to start a business, but as a consumer.
No, I'm saying as a consumer, I'm choosing from these people's businesses. They're either actual psychopaths who want to hurt me, or people who are like, well, obviously this is the glue we're going to go with because it's the cheap one and it's the poisonous one.
But there's boutique furniture makers and woodworkers.
Yes, and what I'm saying is, it's not just that. Sometimes there just isn't an option, and sometimes, like for example, I buy flour from Sweden. I order a bunch of flour from Sweden. So I do what you're saying, but one, it's either hard or impossible because the manufacturing is part of the thing. It's not just like becoming a boutique. There's not really boutique like glue people. It's like, I'm just a normal person. I want to start a furniture store. I'm not like into all this environmental poison stuff that Caller Tom is into. What glue do I choose? Oh, well, one of the two glues on the market, they're both poison. And maybe I'm going to go with the cheaper one because I'm just starting my business. Oh, it's more poison. You know, it's not really those people's fault. Sometimes it's literally there's nothing on the market that's not poison.
Okay.
And then most of the time it's just very, very difficult to find or afford. And that makes it for people like they're living in a trailer, for example.
That much I'll agree with. It's more expensive to like avoid these things. Mm-hmm. Right? Like McDonald's is cheap. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Getting your cuts of meat from a butcher or from a local farm.
Food's the least of it, in my opinion.
Expensive.
In my opinion, food's the least of it.
Well, but that's what people buy on a regular basis, right?
People like to claim you can't afford healthy food, though, and it's like definitely possible.
Well, it depends, right? Depends on your budget and and what you're willing to give up to do it, right? Like IKEA
I think
and
that's
furniture's
way more
cheap.
of an example of, oh, well, I just want to eat something that tastes like McDonald's, so I have to eat it. It's like, well, when you go try to find a couch that is made of 0%, like, there's probably like a few.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to go to a furniture maker.
But that's what I'm saying. Like with McDonald's, there's millions of options to not eat. And I'm just saying it's much easier to not eat poison than it is to not sit on poison.
I got it. And the only reason I'm using the food as an example is because everyone buys food daily or consumes food daily for the most part.
I just think people who are eating McDonald's and saying it's impossible not to eat McDonald's are like making like excuses.
No, I'm not saying it's not impossible not to eat it. What I'm saying is it's prohibitively expensive. It's prohibitively expensive for the average person to shop at a farm, right, for their regular groceries than it is to go to the grocery store and consume some of the poisons that you mentioned.
There's non-poisonous things at the grocery store. People just think like it's impossible, it's not affordable because they haven't tried, because they don't want to eat.
Is it harder because people are unaware of what they're doing?
And being unaware is a huge part. Because like I said, with the example of somebody who just wants to start a furniture store, they just choose one of the two glues on the markets. I think most people just aren't looking into it. Like, Tom, he said he was friends with Ralph Nader, so I looked him up. Apparently it's a lawyer that was an environmentalist.
And presidential candidate.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And by the way, I've met Obama, I've met Biden, I've met everybody except Donald Trump directly, but I did live in New York for a while, so I'm familiar with Donald Trump's influence in the city of in Manhattan.
Have you worked? Anyway, did you work on in an environmental field or something like that?
Yeah, and by the way, I'm a little ashamed. I was so proud as I was employed by DuPont, formulating the polyesters, the synthetic fabrics.
Oh, no. I don't blame you.
I was so honored when they asked me or they recruited me, but then I realized I was contributing to the real problem of the earth warming up. They're talking about the problem in Texas with the weather bringing in this monsoon, and they're trying to blame it on what man can do with an airplane and a little bit of silver iodide or whatever. But in fact, the real driver is plastic.
I think the worst thing about wearing plastic like polyester is what it can do to your endocrine system.
the ocean is covered with a sheen of plastic, microplastic. And the problem with that sheen is it doesn't convert sunlight into sugar. If you allow the sunlight to get to anything living in the water or on the land, photosynthesis converts that heat energy into sugar or into cellulose, into starch or glucose.
I'm less concerned about plastics in general.
On your body, in the ocean.
Well, just people complain about like the existence of plastics. Oh, it's like it's ruining the planet, right? Because it's not naturally occurring. Well, but it's a byproduct of an abundance of oil, right? And petroleum products, which before they found a way to synthesize it and make gasoline, like that was a detriment to farmers because it ruined the crops. Like, oh man, this oil is coming up and ruining our crops. What are we going to do? And
Plenty of byproducts are harmful, though.
What?
Plenty of byproducts are harmful, though, even if the whole product wasn't harmful.
Sure. But what I'm saying is then they figured out what to do with oil, right? And then it wasn't a problem anymore because the farmers just converted their farms to oil plantations.
Yeah, they're
right?
rich now.
And they're rich now, right? And they're like, oh, what else can we do with this oil? And it turns out like you can make plastics. And when you were running low on other materials to make things, well, we have an abundance of this oil that we need to do something else with. And they started making plastics, and eventually it's going to, it might take, I don't know what the half-life is, but eventually it's going to break down. It's not like plastics last forever.
My problem is a lot less. Oh, go ahead.
They're more durable than natural fibers.
What's that?
The plastics or the polyesters, the synthetic fabrics are much more durable than the natural fibers like cotton or like wool.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so
they'll stick around longer.
Yeah, they'll stick around longer, but it's not a forever thing, right?
What about forever chemicals? I'm not sure.
Well, how forever is forever?
Yeah, I know. I've heard that is a misnomer.
Yes.
I don't really know much about forever chemicals.
It's a scare tactic to make you worried about the stuff you use.
The main thing I think there's a problem is what it does to the human body before, it sits in landfill too long. First of all, we're always just digging new landfills. It actually blows my mind. Sometimes I think about like how much land is used for like living and roads and stuff like that. And we still have room to make a new landfill every 5 years.
The landfill of today will be the mine of tomorrow, right? Like all the junk and whatever you're processing into the landfill will go in, right? And then decades or centuries from now, whatever, they'll go dig it up for the raw materials that we're throwing away. And the plastics will have decomposed and the metals will still be there. And, you'll have iron and nickel and copper and
forever
gold
chemicals.
and silver. Well, everything's chemicals, but it'll be there.
I don't know, maybe not.
Everything is chemicals, so if you want to play that game, fine. But they'll be the raw materials still there, and they'll figure out a way to filter out this gold from the silver to use in whatever industrial manufacturing they have 200 years from now or whatever it is.
I mean, the water kind of bothers me more than the landfill, though, which the caller did bring up. Is like any water you're drinking, like you got to filter a whole bunch of crap out of it, but it can be done. It can be filtered.
You can filter it, and your body can filter it.
Yeah.
Right? Like your body doesn't process everything you put in it. That's why you use the bathroom. Like a lot of it's just waste and comes out the other end as waste.
I think it's harder to filter the plastics out than like even heavy metals, like different metals that you eat bind to and pull out heavy metals, but it's like difficult for the body to get out these plastics for whatever reason, so it gets lodged in different places.
There's that dude that looks like a Smurf because he took too much colloidal silver every day and turned blue.
Yeah, there is.
Everything in moderation.
One of the problems we have, though, with the plastic fibers that get into our system, we don't have an enzyme to break them down. It's like the same situation with the...
We don't have an enzyme to break down corn either. It just comes out the other end.
Yeah, but the thing about these things is they're like so tiny, they get into everything. Did you know you have microplastics in your brain?
Yeah.
You don't have corn in your brain.
What's that?
You don't have pieces of corn in your brain.
Sure. But I don't feel like I'm so detrimentally affected in my average every day-to-day life that, less particles of microplastics is going to improve my situation so significantly.
Well, you don't feel like it, but how do you know that when you're like 70 and you get some disease and you're like, well, this is just normal. I was always going to die at 70. You wouldn't die at 90 instead because of the plastics.
I'm probably okay with that. Like, those years don't sound appealing to me at all. Ever.
I want to die really old.
You do or don't?
I do, no.
Okay.
I used to always say I just want to die as soon as I'm about to be 30. And now I'm about to be 30 and I'm like, wait, no, I take it back. I want to live a long time.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. I've always aimed for 50 and I'm almost there. So we'll see.
I think the people that, like, when they're my age, like I'm 29, they're still scared of not being in their 20s. It's like almost like lame. It's like, why do you still want to be like the people like 10 years younger than you? I'm so glad I don't feel that way anymore. Deep inside, too.
20s is the peak.
That's what you say, not everybody.
Physically, it's all downhill from there.
Well, you're saying that, and you're saying that the plastics don't make you feel bad.
I don't think it's from the plastics. It's just like, look at all of humanity. Look, cavemen only lived to like 30. They had zero microplastics.
I don't know about cavemen. I have no idea if we know about cavemen, but the people like 100 years ago, people are always saying like, oh, everybody died in their 30s, but really it's just bad math because it's just so many people died in childhood, and we have so much better, hygiene.
No, think about your teeth. You get you get your adult set of teeth when you're like 7 years old, and then it's got to last another 9. The first set of teeth you get lasts 7 years. The second set is supposed to last 90? No.
I hate that too.
It was never, because it was never meant to last that long.
There are people that claim you can grow new teeth.
It's supposed to get you like 20, 30 more years, and that's it.
I think a color...
That's an anomaly.
Oh, wait, never mind. It's not that people claim you can naturally grow new teeth. It was something Lori brought up that a scientist is working on, like a shot that'll make people grow new teeth.
They're growing new teeth with like stem cells.
I wouldn't want to be the first person to test it out. It's like, what if you grow a tooth on your finger or your brain?
Weird. I'm pretty sure they inject it and they'll grow it and then implant it. But either way, it's because the lifespans, even if, factor in child deaths or whatever, the lifespans were less.
I would love to get way more educated on all the environmental poisons in the environment so I can really explain more to people. Thanks so much for the caller. I'd like to hear from you more, Tom, but we are running out of time for this segment. But I just wanted to say that there is a book I want to read called Silent Spring, and she talks about in 1965, I think was. Crap, I guess I should have actually known that before I started talking about it. How bad things were. It was like very bad back then. It gets exponentially worse every year. The people who are like, if you know anyone that's a chemical engineer, most likely they're sitting around trying to synthesize new plastics. They only get worse for you. It's in the environment too. It's like you're part of the environment, and that's going to affect your life eventually. And I don't even necessarily believe that it's just because like it's making the planet hotter. It's, that part's up for debate, but you don't want the scientists making us sick. More Free Talk Live coming up.
Free Talk Live.
It's obvious the government expects people to pay taxes, whether or not they have a law.
They are a band of marauders. They're a violent band of thugs, and in my opinion, they're a group of strangers. I mean, if I all of a sudden wrote up an invoice for you, Robert, and send it to your house saying, you owe Free Talk Live $5,000 this year, or if you don't pay us, we're going to send some people after you to punch your face in. Would you cut me a check? I mean, because that's essentially what they're doing. That's essentially what the IRS does. They write a bunch of strangers, people they don't know, an invoice, and they include a bunch of obscure instructions that you're supposed to understand. And then at the very bottom, it says, if you don't follow these instructions to the T, we are going to charge you with a criminal offense and throw you in the clink. This is a threat. And I don't take kindly to threats. I don't know about you.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern at freetalklive.com.
Protection.
Eleutheromania, the insatiable desire for freedom.
Filibuster. Police state.
It's the new 3-song heavy metal EP from Captain Kickass. Available now on your favorite music app or get it directly from CaptainKickass.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Simon Marks with the Week in Review. And the week ended with President Donald Trump pledging to make a major announcement on Monday about Russia, after a week in which the American leader expressed growing frustration towards President Vladimir Putin. He also announced a resumption of weapons shipments to Ukraine after they were briefly suspended on the orders of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who was apparently acting without President Trump's authorization. FSN's Tony Waterman covered that story from our Washington bureau.
President Trump says the new shipment of weapons will include Patriot air defense systems, which have the ability to detect and shoot down Russian missiles. But the weapons won't go directly to Ukraine. President Trump says they will instead be sold to NATO, which will then distribute them to Kiev.
In the Lone Star State of Texas, there was a week-long search and rescue operation after the July 4th Independence Day floods that inundated the Texas Hill Country in the early hours of the morning. More than 120 people died. More than 170 people were still missing by the end of the week. 14-year-old Ruffin Boyette and his 11-year-old brother Piers survived the floods. They were, like so many others, attending summer camp in the Hill Country.
All of the campers in those cabins had to go up on the rafters, and they had to wait there until they could swim out.
The flood started getting bigger, and it was going up to, we have bunk beds in our cabins, and it was going up to the top bunk, and we had one choice, and we had to swim out of our cabins.
On Friday, President Trump described questions about whether his government's cuts to the National Weather Service had any impact on the size of the death toll as evil. There was lots of activity in the realm of tariffs during the week. The US leader threatened 50% duties on Brazil unless its authorities halt the trial of former President Jair Bolsonaro, who is accused of leading an insurrection to overturn the outcome of the country's 2022 election. Meanwhile, the European Union is still in trade negotiations with Washington. FSN's Will Denzelo covered that story from Brussels.
The EU has until the end of the month to reach a deal, or risk duties on European goods rising from 10% to 50%. Countermeasures worth roughly $25 billion are set to come into effect Monday, but EU officials say they can be suspended if a political decision is reached.
The UK economy shrank by 0.1%, contracting for a second consecutive month, a surprise after economists broadly predicted a rise in GDP. It came as a blow to the Labour government, which has made economic growth a key priority. The Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves, admitted the figure is disappointing, but said she is determined to kickstart growth. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN. French President Emmanuel Macron made a state visit to Britain, where he was hosted by King Charles at Windsor Castle and then by Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer at number 10 Downing Street. The UK says it will be returning migrants to France within weeks after agreeing a so-called one-in, one-out deal. Some migrants who make small boat crossings to England will be detained and returned to France, and in exchange, the UK will take in an equivalent number of asylum seekers with a family connection to Britain. Opposition parties described the plan as a gimmick, but Mike Tapp, lawmaker with the governing Labour Party from Dover, where many of those reaching the UK in small boats land, said that he welcomes the agreement.
I'm enthused, I'm positive. So if you're sat in Calais, you're thinking £6,000, up to £6,000 to cross, which is expensive, particularly for these people. But hey, I might end up going back, then you might well think twice. And we don't really know the impact yet, but I think it's a positive move.
Tesla plans to launch its first showroom in India next week. The US carmaker's CEO Elon Musk has long said that he wants to bring the brand to India, although he has complained about the country's high tariffs on imported vehicles. FSN's Rebecca Bundan has more from our bureau in Mumbai.
In the first 6 months of this year, Tesla imported vehicles, chargers and accessories into India worth some $1 million. The company had been exploring the possibility of manufacturing in the country, but it is understood that for now it will be focusing on selling imported vehicles. President Donald Trump has said it would be unfair to the US for Tesla to build a factory in India to avoid India's tariffs.
Also in the coming week, we'll see whether enough progress has been made to secure a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza, and new inflation data will be released on Tuesday. The markets will be keeping a keen eye on that. And that is the Week in Review from Feature Story News. Simon Marks reporting.
Now that multiple Thomas E. Dewey High School sources have confirmed that junior Jessica Milley will soon begin putting out, with many speculating that she'll go all the way with her boyfriend Josh Gibson as early as this Friday, Milley's classmates have been quick to weigh in on the news.
Jessica was sitting at this table when she told Erica that she was finally going to do Josh.
Jessica's pretty hot, so I'm happy with her decision.
I was pretty certain the next girl to start putting out would be Amy Courtley because everybody knows her mom's a slut.
While the majority of students were somewhat surprised that Jessica might give it up at Andy Wheeler's house party this Friday, possibly on one of Wheeler's 2 basement couches, Milley's intentions didn't come as a shock to some. Now that the news is settling in, several Dewey High sources are suggesting that Milley's decision could cause a domino effect in which even more classmates begin putting out in the near future.
I think I'm going to start putting out in January or February, definitely by prom.
Keep checking theonion.com for more news as this story progresses.
This is the Onion News Network.
Our Matrix server is about as free as internet chat can be. Join the existing rooms or create your own at chat.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. That means you can call 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160 to bring up whatever's on your mind. I really like that last call because it's unique and it's not a chronic caller. Not that you can't call Sarah and David, just that it's fun whenever we get a new person that calls in. I think it's really fun.
New listeners, too.
And just new subjects, because a lot of people like to bring up their same things over and over. But I hadn't ever heard Tom call before. I don't know about you guys.
I have never heard his voice that I can remember.
So that was fun for me. Are you tired of the oppressive rules and moderation of the big tech social media sites? Our Mastodon server at social.freetalklive.com can set you free. Mastodon is free, open source, decentralized, and federated. Multiple apps are available for iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, and Linux. That's social.freetalklive.com for that. And with you on Free Talk Live, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley.
And Richie Rich.
And we were talking before the call that Tom came in and changed the subject, because that's what Free Talk Live is all about. And you get to do that as a listener on Free Talk Live.
As a caller. You don't get to do it if you just listen.
Oh,
you
yeah.
You got to call.
Exactly.
You got to call 603-283-6160. Get in on the show.
And you don't even have to be listening when you call. We just have to be doing the live show.
Yeah, you can't do it with telekinesis. You got to do it with a cell phone. Oh, and we have somebody calling in. But before Tom called in, we were talking about moral panic, and we'll talk more about that unless this caller is really interesting. Caller, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Oh, yes. I just want to continue
moral
to
panic
talk
it is.
about
Hello, Sarah.
Yes. Remember I said that. You told me, I can't believe they finished the train. Well, I was like, I'm surprised they still have a train. See, 19 years ago, when they had the train
from Albuquerque to Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Thank you.
No, they had I think they had a free line from Las Lunas. They had it opened up from Albuquerque to Berlin, but it was for free. I was going back and forth of that, but I never rode it to Santa Fe. And during the COVID, and they were hammering them. They're picking on how much money it's gonna cost, and nobody's riding it. I looked it up. They closed down the train.
Just for comparison, you said it costed you $9 for the train from Albuquerque to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I looked it up. It takes an hour and 29 minutes by train. It only takes an hour and 2 minutes by car, and it's about, like I got an estimate, anywhere from $12 to $15 in gas. So it's like you're paying just like $4 less to have to deal with train stuff for an extra 30 minutes seems like not even worth it. Like, maybe if it was like $5, it'd be totally worth it. Like, oh yeah, I'll give up another half hour of my life to go this way. But
it might be worth it for me because I don't have a car.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying compared to someone who is going to drive.
Cars equal freedom, man.
So that might be why people don't want to use it, Sarah. I was just like, maybe if it was like a really good deal, but it's not.
Well, the thing is, what's amazing is that we have it. That's why I was shocked when I got on it. I thought they closed it down. Here in Mexico, nothing good. It takes forever to have anything good happen here. Anything, and then they get rid of it as soon as they have it. Like the rental bicycles, we had it, and that disappeared.
Didn't people in your town start like vandalizing them?
Well,
the tragedy of the commons.
Well, what is it? The scooter, they find them in the bottom of the Rio Grande, and they were stealing the whole scooter and tearing it apart and selling it for parts, from what I was told.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not like Albuquerque people were just like, let's just get rid of this. Like, they had to, because the people can't act right around there, apparently.
Well, I don't know. We got the scooters back, the little rental scooters. And then they were leaving them out in the middle of the road, blocking the sidewalk. So they had to do a re-shake-up about educating them. They were going to kick them out of the Albuquerque area. And, of course, they got rid of...
Because it's the owner's problem with how the customers use the scooters.
But it was not the fault of the company. And they were jacking up the company. So that's why I was thinking that the rail runner got run out of here, but it's going strong. And another thing that they got rid of is the red light cameras we had for about 7 to 10 years. And then it was a good thing saving lives, and they got rid of that too. So, but I guess if they vandalize and steal the scooters, there's not that much of a big of a loss as they would steal a scooter.
Well, it's a big loss for a company if their only product is scooters. If you run out of scooters, how much do you have to charge to continuously replenish the scooters? And is it even worth it? Are you making a profit?
I have no idea what the profit thing is, but I do see people running around with that little scooter. I see them riding it, and then I see them parked out there, and they're educating people how to educate where's a good place to park it. And then they have a guy running around picking up those scooters and putting them where they have to be. But yeah, but you're right. Are you that friend with no car? I have no car. I can't drive. I have terror. I don't want to drive a car, and so does Ray can't drive a car. There's a lot of people that don't like to drive. So then the train is really convenient. And then I see you could actually work on the train. You don't have to drive. So
that's a good point. That's a great reason why somebody might choose to take the train and like spend extra 30 minutes of their lives. Say they needed to get something done in that time frame and you can't do it while driving. That's one good reason. I just don't think it's like that
poor
popular.
Time management.
Yeah, but it's also not like that popular. Like, is everyone who drives from Albuquerque to Santa Fe like, oh, I need to get this like PowerPoint done before I get there? Like, I don't think it's worth it. Like, that makes it like, oh, a really good reason to keep it if it's not being used.
Well, I guess it has been used because when I got off at my stop, I had about 20 people that come off the train and another 30 people that was going on. I don't know if they're going to downtown.
I thought you claimed it wasn't being used. That's why I brought up all this crap.
The people that all the people that attacked it, that opposed it, were always claiming that nobody's riding it. They were picking on it, and that's why I really thought they closed it down.
So
I was surprised that it was running.
It might be losing money because you're not able to charge those 20 or 30 people enough to justify the ride. Right? Like there's costs associated with running that train from hither to yon, and if you're not making enough money from the number of people doing it, you either close up shop or charge more. And if you charge more, less people will ride it, right? Because not everyone can afford the new price, and you could end up in a downward spiral. Now you could lower the price and get more people to ride and find a profitable, equilibrium there somehow.
But electric vehicles got more affordable now that they can get there for $5.
Electric vehicles are more affordable because they're subsidized by government.
Oh.
Like, they're not more affordable yet.
Really?
They're not. Yeah.
Wow.
How about this? Cruise ships are subsidized by the government, and Amtrak is owned by the government, subsidized.
Yes.
It used to be a private entity.
Yes, and
Amtrak
we would be
is
against
another
it.
train?
Yeah.
Or is it a bus?
No, it's a train. Greyhound's the most popular bus.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they're subsidized. But if they're subsidized, right, that means they're not making enough money by the people who are using it. So now the people who don't use it have to pay for it.
I've always wanted my own car. Like, I never think, like, oh, if I'm going to go there, I'll take the bus. Like, that sounds terrifying to me. Like,
yeah, no, I hate the bus.
It's just, like, I like to be in control of, like, my time, my day. Like,
Exactly.
I don't want to be sitting there, like...
Freedom, baby.
Oh, we're stuck at this part of the bus ride because it broke down or whatever. You know, like, your car can break down too, but you're in control of getting it done, moving on.
Or your bus is late, or your bus is full, or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah, there's somebody crazy sitting next to you.
That too.
Nobody crazy gets to sit next to me in my car if I don't want them to.
Well, they actually have security people, and it felt really clean and really safe. I didn't see like a bunch of crazy people riding the train because you do have to pay the fare.
Exactly. Oh wait, you just admitted it, Sarah. You always complained about the bus being full of like horrible people, and we explained to you it's because of the government handouts that you love so much. Well, they're getting bus handouts. They get to ride the bus for free. That's the government running that for you.
You have to pay. You have to pay Rail Runner. Oh, by the way, Minneapolis, the city, those buses for free. Washington D.C. has free buses, and our city does. But
not free. Paid for by non-riders. If the riders are getting a ride for free, then non-riders are paying for it.
Do you admit that it's more dangerous because there's people that don't have to pay and they're homeless or whatever?
What? That's what they claim. But when they were charging $2,
she insinuated.
I think it's about the same. There were more fighting with the drivers about paying the money, panhandling people on the bus. To me, I think it was just about the same. It might have gotten worse, but we have more security.
What about compared to the train, though, where the fee is higher?
Well, the trains, I don't see any riffraff, and they always have security guard. I see, like, two security guards, they're there.
But you're not making a connection between, like, the elevated price of the train being safer.
Homeless people not having the $9.
Right. And the bus being more dangerous because it's cheaper. Like, you don't make that connection in your mind.
Well, that $2 all-day fare that they had, that made not that much difference.
Do you think if the train had a $2 all-day fare that you might end up with more riffraff on the train?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, if all you needed was 2 days to ride back and forth Berlin all the way to Santa Fe, they would sit there and sleep there and live there, be air conditioned, stay warm all day, all night.
So the higher cost of entry is prohibitive to get riffraff.
But somehow magically not on the bus.
No, she said it's a problem on the bus, and it would be a problem on the train.
No, she says it's a problem on the bus, but won't admit it's because it's free. And we've tried to make this conversation, or have this conversation with her before. I feel like I hear about Albuquerque against my will my whole life. It's like whenever I would drive back and forth every once in a blue moon, or one time I met with my parents, the exact halfway point between San Antonio and where I lived in Utah was Albuquerque. So I've been there too many times.
And it's where Bugs Bunny made a wrong turn, so it was even in the cartoons.
Really?
Made a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
And he was upset about it? Like he's like, oh, crap.
That's usually how he got lost. Because he made a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, you don't want to be there. And it's funny.
It sucks that, another dumb thing we did, we got rid of our red light cameras. In Chicago, they have more education. They have 60 red light cameras. It doesn't matter who, and they sued against the city to get them out, and they failed. So it's going to stay, but they have more money, more education, more everything.
I think they just have more bootlickers.
They do.
Yeah, we don't have to get into it, but I have an article pulled up, that I brought in for the show prep of them. This was in Europe where they have cameras for everything, right? Of a chick that they said was on her cell phone. They got a picture of her on a cell phone. Mm-hmm. So they find her like 400 pounds. Wow. Turns out it was an ice pack.
Oh, she was like putting it on her face?
Yeah, because she'd just come from the dentist and had an ice pack on her face. And like, $400, we can see the cell phone.
Wow.
Right? But those are the nonsense things that people end up having to deal with when you have a surveillance society trying to catch you for everything.
That sucks. They suck for that. Anything else, Sarah?
I was going to ask you, were you the one that told me that in UK they have have a device that makes you do the speed limit?
No, it's in Washington State.
Yeah, but they started in United Kingdom. They had this technology where they made you do the speed limit. They were doing that in England. So now we have that here in Washington State. I don't know who I heard it from on the show. So
it was probably us at some point.
Yep, it says in the UK, technology called Intelligent Speed Assistance, which is the same word they use in Washington State, is being implemented to help drivers adhere to speed limits.
Nope. Because sometimes you need to speed up to avoid an accident.
That's true.
Yeah, I say nope for New Hampshire at least.
I know this because I got hit on a moped because I couldn't speed up and get out of the way.
Well, because it only goes so fast?
It only goes so fast.
Well, Ian did tell me mopeds are dangerous. I was like, I want a moped. That sounds so cute. I could drive it to the grocery store in Keene. He was like, that sounds dangerous. And that's not usually an Ian thing to say. I'm just like, what? I'll just drive it carefully.
No, it's not you have to worry about. It's the other people. Same with motorcycles. Motorcycles are loud, and that helps. Mopeds aren't as loud. But you should totally get a moped. Mopeds are fun.
It looks really fun.
They are.
It was kind of like a little thought I had like 3 whole years ago, and now, I don't know, doesn't sound as appealing. I don't know why.
They are dangerous, and I got hit, and I was wearing a helmet. But I did have a friend, an acquaintance, right? She was on a moped, and she got drunk one night, left on the moped, hopped the curb, and hit a pole and died.
Oh my God. It's sad.
Everyone's like, oh, it's so sad. She's gone. Yes, it was very sad, but she didn't get hit by anybody. She made a bad choice.
And I've hit a pole with a car, so maybe I shouldn't do it.
Or just learn how to ride a moped.
Maybe that's not for me.
I told my buddy once, I had to get my car home, and I was on my moped. I'm like, all right, dude, I'm going to drive the car. I need you to follow me on the moped so we can get both cars to my house, and then we'll jump in the other car and go hang out. And he's like, I don't know how to ride a moped. Well, how long do you need to learn? He's like, dude, just let me take a couple laps around the parking lot. I'm like, take as much time as you need.
He crashed it?
No, he didn't. He took a couple of laps around the parking lot. I was like, all right, let's go. I can do this. I'm like, all right, cool, let's go.
I thought you were going to say, that's all it took, and he died.
No.
Just a couple laps, and he was dead.
No, a couple laps is all it took for him to confidently ride a moped long enough to get home.
Nice.
It's a straight shot. You don't have to make a lot of turns. They're fun. I raced my buddy on his Harley.
They're also cute.
Yeah, they can be.
They can be as fast as a motorcycle?
But maneuverability, right? I'm like, he was like, we're gonna go to the bar. I'll race you. And he was on his motorcycle, and I was on my moped, and I beat him.
Just like going through cars and stuff?
Exactly.
That's pretty
fun.
He
got stuck, and I kept going.
Can you go on a sidewalk on a moped?
You shouldn't. You might hit a pole.
Oh.
It's not legal.
Oh, okay, I see. Well, thanks for the call, Sarah. I feel like I'm cursed to have to talk about Albuquerque on the show every single day. I have 2 different chronic callers, and it's just pops up in my life all the time.
You summoned her this time, though.
Kinda, yeah.
David and Sarah, give us a call. We're waiting on you.
I've been doing that recently. It's kind of funny to me. Yesterday, I did apologize to David if you were listening to the show yesterday, and I answered, and it was David, and I was like, well, David, I don't want to talk to you because there's another caller. I want to see who this is. Well, he stayed on after the show, and I was like, sorry, David. I hope you understand. I just wanted to see who the other caller was, and he was like, no, I implore you to answer other people before me. I was like, oh, that's nice. So he wasn't mad.
He also likes to go on last if there's time. That's weird, but whatever.
So let's get into Riley's story that I find really funny. City shuts down popular dance class due to moral standards.
Is it hip hop? I'm guessing it's hip hop.
It would be
because you
funny
said
if it
Utah,
was.
right?
Yeah.
So it's black people dancing, offending the white people.
Are there black people in Provo, Utah?
I have no idea. I haven't seen any. I'm sure there probably are somewhere.
And this from Newsweek.com.
A reputable news source.
It says, the city of Provo, Utah, late last month discontinued the Dirtylicious Dance Fitness program, it's a ridiculous name, held at its recreation center following a review that determined the class did not align with the city's standards, morals, and values, according to the program's owners. How can a city have standards, morals, and values?
That's a good question.
Maybe when they're all Mormon.
Yeah, well,
because it's collectively owned by the community.
The recreational center where this dance class is held is supposedly held by the community, so I don't know.
Do every single one of them feel the same way about Dirty Licious Dance Fitness program? How did that have any people dancing dirty, and if they all were against it?
That's true. Make a good point.
The decision came after a resident's complaint. So just one busybody. I was looking for that
Karen.
word earlier. Yeah, one Karen. The decision came after a
They're
resident's
shaking
complaint.
their booties.
Yeah.
We don't twerk in this town.
Oh my god, I hope they have a quote of the complaint. Why'd they write review at first? This isn't a review, this is a busybody Karen. The decision came after a resident's complaint about the program's appropriateness. It's like appropriate for a Dirty Licious Dance Fitness program. You know, it's like maybe not appropriate for your church or your house, you know?
Wear a more modest outfit that covers your knees and your chest.
Well, the Mormon undergarments just got upgraded, and now I guess it's the new revelation. They can now
they can now have shorter sleeves.
Yeah, they have like tank top versions out only this year.
Oh my goodness! The Mormon boys are gonna go crazy.
They are.
No need to go on a mission now.
The thing is, I've heard the bottom part of the garment is actually a little longer.
Whoa!
So
they took a little, give a
sleeve?
little. That's kind of funny. I did not hear that. It says the decision came after residents complained about. Oh, and I get it now. Why they said review. So
okay.
It says residents complained about the program's appropriateness prompted an internal evaluation of the class recordings and social media posts. Program owners Erica Tanner and husband Mattson Tanner told Newsweek in a phone interview Monday evening. Dirty Licious Dance Fitness, which has been in business since 2019 and has about 60 trainers across the country, has operated...
So it's a franchise?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hadn't realized. I've never heard of it. Has operated for 3 years out of the Provo Recreation Center, and this one Karen had to see it once in those 3 years, and she's mad.
She walked by, the blinds were drawn, the windows were open.
There's a great, argument for closing your blinds and not letting the busybodies look in.
No, but okay, fine. But if you want to advertise what you're doing in there and you want people to get interested and come in and join.
Yeah, that's a good point. The Tanners say that they have continued to work with the city only to be met with walls. In a statement sent to Newsweek via email Monday night, Provo Recreation Center manager Kathy Smits, I almost thought I said Karen. But Kathy and Karen are very similar names. They should both be considered Karens. She said in part, fitness classes at the recreation center are open to individuals 14 and older. Uh-oh. Don't let Turd over there.
He'll be over there in a heartbeat.
We recognize the need to protect minors, particularly when video recording and online posting was occurring. Man, it sounds like a big excuse. The minor can stand in an area of the room taped off for not being recorded.
Or they could have a minors only class that isn't recorded, that they don't allow social media posting.
Yeah,
There's
or just
other ways.
No minors allowed in this area, you know?
Would they have a problem if it was a Little League baseball game, which is also an athletic endeavor? We got to protect the minors. Can't let people see playing
recording?
baseball.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You know what's so weird? It's every time there's, I don't know why I said every time, but a lot of sports things are they always dox kids. It'll be a picture of you in the newspaper, and it'll have your first and last name and what school you go to. If not the newspaper, the site. And I've always noticed this. Lots of sports things, especially public schools, maybe private ones too. I mean, just schools. I've always thought it was so unsafe that they dox kids. And also those people that have a sign out in their front yard that's my son Jason goes to blah 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 high school. It just seems unsafe. You learn not to do that, cyber security wise.
Yeah, I think now, back in the day when it was the newspaper, I think that's more for exposure.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the star quarterback, you want the college recruiters to see you in the newspaper.
Yeah, and I mean high schoolers hopefully can defend themselves a little more. Maybe back in the day they also were able to drive to school with guns in their cars, whatever.
At 14.
Yeah. 603-283-6160. We got a caller on the line, and we'll get to you and whoever else calls on the next segment. 603-283-6160. More Free Talk Live coming up.
Hey, you are going to love the movie Victimless Crime Spree. It's hilarious, heartwarming, and carries a ton of inspiring freedom messages. Feeling down about the lack of liberty in your life? You need to put on this film with some friends and have a good laugh. It's a true story about me and my friends in New Hampshire living free, singing, dancing, and getting arrested. Of course, it's all on video, and the bad guys, the cops, judges, bailiffs, and sheriffs, they all play their part like it's out of a movie or something. You would think we scripted the whole thing, but it's real life. Go ahead and have a watch, and if it's been a while, have another look. I guarantee you'll notice things now that you didn't notice before. And the best part is that you're going to walk away feeling a renewed sense of your own power. You are the master of your destiny, and you will be free in your lifetime. Victimless Crime Spree.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Simon Marks with the Week in Review, and the week ended with President Donald Trump pledging to make a major announcement on Monday about Russia, after a week in which the American leader expressed growing frustration towards President Vladimir Putin. He also announced a resumption of weapons shipments to Ukraine after they were briefly suspended on the orders of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who was apparently acting without President Trump's authorization. FSN's Tony Waterman covered that story from our Washington bureau.
President Trump says the new shipment of weapons will include Patriot air defense systems, which have the ability to detect and shoot down Russian missiles. But the weapons won't go directly to Ukraine. President Trump says they will instead be sold to NATO, which will then distribute them to Kiev.
In the Lone Star State of Texas, there was a week-long search and rescue operation after the July 4th Independence Day floods that inundated the Texas Hill Country in the early hours of the morning. More than 120 people died. More than 170 people were still missing by the end of the week. 14-year-old Ruffin Boyette and his 11-year-old brother Piers survived the floods. They were, like so many others, attending summer camp in the Hill Country.
All of the campers in those cabins had to go up on the rafters, and they had to wait there until they could swim out.
The flood started getting bigger, and it was going up to, we have bunk beds in our cabins, and it was going up to the top bunk, and we had one choice, and we had to swim out of our cabins.
On Friday, President Trump described questions about whether his government's cuts to the National Weather Service had any impact on the size of the death toll as evil. There was lots of activity in the realm of tariffs during the week. The US leader threatened 50% duties on Brazil unless its authorities halt the trial of former President Jair Bolsonaro, who is accused of leading an insurrection to overturn the outcome of the country's 2022 election. Meanwhile, the European Union is still in trade negotiations with Washington. FSN's Will Denzelo covered that story from Brussels.
The EU has until the end of the month to reach a deal, or risk duties on European goods rising from 10% to 50%. Countermeasures worth roughly $25 billion are set to come into effect Monday, but EU officials say they can be suspended if a political decision is reached.
The UK economy shrank by 0.1%, contracting for a second consecutive month, a surprise after economists broadly predicted a rise in GDP. It came as a blow to the Labour government, which has made economic growth a key priority. The Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves, admitted the figure is disappointing, but said she is determined to kickstart growth. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
You can stick it to the man and big tech. Join our FTL social mastodon at social.freetalklive.com.
(603-283-6160) is the phone number. Call into Free Talk Live with whatever's on your mind to get in on the conversation in this last segment of tonight's show. It's Free Talk Live, and the number is 603-283-6160. I did want to say before we get into talking that the ad I've been reading the last long time, like many months, is now not irrelevant, and Tim is right that they don't do credit card processing on Odyssey anymore. So you can support Odyssey with a cryptocurrency, strange one I hadn't heard of, But, support us on Odyssey.
Library Coin or something like that?
Well, Library Coin's apparently going away, so they're switching to something called AR Coin that I've never heard of.
Huh, interesting.
So, Tim was right. They aren't allowing you to click join at the top of the page. You can go to video.freetalklive.com to go subscribe to us on Odyssey, and that, supports the libertarian-owned platform Odyssey and our premier streaming platform.
Is it going to affect people in the Odyssey chat, or is that something you still got to look into?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That would affect people in the Odyssey chat, I think, because that was for members only.
Right.
So my question is, how do people get this AR coin? Do we know?
I don't. I just basically read that and hadn't ever heard of it.
Okay.
I don't even know how people were getting Library Coin. I have a bunch of it just for having a Odyssey account and liking things. It would give it to you. So maybe it's going to be similar.
Buy it from some sketchy European. Just like the old days.
That's the way it should be done.
Kind of funny name too. What does it have to do with Odyssey? But it might be not actually related. I don't know. I just wanted to put that out there since this is normally when we read that ad.
She followed through, Tim.
I actually looked into it. And I am glad he reminded me too. Thanks, Tim, for the reminder. And don't forget to email Tim no, I'm just kidding. So we have a caller on the line. We have Richard from Albuquerque. Richard, what is on your mind? You're on Free Talk Live.
Well, the Albuquerque Tourism Bureau is putting out advertisements in other cities to visit Albuquerque. But I want to make people aware that for close to 3 years now, Albuquerque has had a severe shortage of bus drivers. Sometimes bus routes don't even get people picked up. The buses they have the schedules changed.
See, problems with buses.
Bus stop for close to an hour. And also our crime rate per our population is one of the highest in America. And people on our local call-in radio shows talk about being afraid to walk around downtown Albuquerque after dark and other places in Albuquerque. So if people are wanting to come to Albuquerque, look into the crime rate.
Rent a car and go armed.
I feel like you're not really in that much danger of people just piling on Albuquerque, wanting to visit, go on vacation there. But I do appreciate it's Free Talk Live, and you got to get your say in.
Yeah.
I'm happy to let you do it.
Well, and not that there should be a tourism bureau, right? Because it's probably a government agency. Mm-hmm. But there's, if they're going to have one, it would make sense to advertise outside of Albuquerque.
Yeah.
To get people to come in and bring their wealth to you.
I wonder how Albuquerque, quote unquote, officials are selling Albuquerque to the public.
Maybe there's
find one of the ads.
Maybe there's been UFO sightings there, and it's go see UFOs. That's all I think of with New Mexico.
Albuquerque, the only New Mexican city you know.
That and Roswell.
Okay.
Yep, Roswell is what I thought of. I was like, man, it'd be cool if it was Roswell. All our callers are calling in from. Because I'd like to ask
That'd
him.
be better.
Hey, Richard, have you ever seen a UFO? And I guess you probably worked nights at Dugway, but also in Albuquerque. Did you ever see a UFO?
I did when I worked in Page, Arizona at the generating station there. I watched a UFO one night for probably about 5 or 10 minutes, and the speed, whatever craft it was, had to be really a lot faster than what our jets or anything else will fly, because they were flying, the UFO was flying in a triangular pattern.
Wow.
The space that he was covering in just probably a matter of seconds was amazing. I was spellbound for probably 10 minutes, and he just disappeared. I don't know if he had a light system in whatever craft it was, but it just disappeared.
That is so cool. I'm glad that you told us the story. You guys have any questions for him about the UFO story? Page, Arizona?
What shape was the craft?
Did you see the shape of the craft?
It was too far away from me to see. All it was a speck in the sky that I was watching. He was just flying in a triangular pattern, but it was a big triangular pattern, and he would cover a lot of miles in probably 5 seconds.
Did you miss any time after observing this UFO?
Anything else weird happen to you after? At all?
Were you probed?
No. They stayed up in the sky at a pretty high elevation, too.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So they stayed away from you and you got to watch it. That is super cool. Riley, it looks like this place, Page, Arizona, is pretty close to St. George. Not like right next door, but south of Escalante.
It's pretty close.
I think the most interesting thing about UFO maneuverability is we can now do most of that stuff with like quadcopters.
What is a quadcopter?
Like what most people would call drones.
Oh, okay.
Like, right?
But if it's really far away from you, you're going to be able to tell if it's a tiny little thing.
It doesn't have to be tiny. They have big ones.
They have like huge drones, like the size of like actual aircraft.
You can ride them.
Really?
Yeah.
You can ride drones?
They've got them that big.
Whoa.
Or at least, they're starting to.
Who controls it? Like somebody on the ground?
No, the rider.
What? That's weird. Sorry, what am I trying to say? Controller like in your hand?
I don't remember. Probably more like, flight sticks or whatever, but they're big enough.
I Googled, because it's kind of hard to Google and talk at the same time, I Googled biggest drone. It says the biggest drone in the world is the RQ-4 Global Hawk, a high-altitude, long-endurance, unmanned aerial vehicle used for surveillance and reconnaissance, so it could be even without a human.
Is that a quadcopter, though? Or is that like an airplane-looking drone? Because I'm talking about they call them drones because that's just what they call them. But I'm
just saying, if the fact it's unmanned is even better to your point because it's they could do things that would hurt a person.
Right, but the maneuverability, it went shot left and then it shot straight up. Mm-hmm. Right, you could do that with a quadcopter. We now have the technology, and it turns out it wasn't that impressive.
The UFO I saw, the thing that was crazy about it was not the maneuvers. Luckily, I think that makes it more interesting. It's it was just something that humans haven't built, and I don't see why they would. It was the shape of a cross but rounded edges, and every single inch of it was made of light. It was giant light bulbs, and me and my sister saw it. I'm so glad I didn't see that all alone. That would piss me off if because I'm always looking for UFOs. Me and Ian used to take a night walk every single night, and I'd be keep looking, Ian, I'm not gonna see a UFO by myself. But
did Ian ever see a UFO?
No, he never did. It was literally, I think, 3 days after he went to prison that Elsbeth and I saw that UFO.
Okay. How convenient.
For me telling Ian's story, right? That's very true.
3 days, man. We were looking for it for 3 days, didn't see anything, and then 3 days later.
Luckily, we weren't looking at the time either, so I think that adds credence to it. We're sitting there talking, and then we both just silence and point, instantly. Yep. Thanks for the call, Richard, and thanks so much for sharing the UFO story. I would really like any callers who have supernatural things to call in about to do so. I really like the topic.
I do too. I used to listen to Art Bell when I was a kid, and man, he would put on a good show.
Technically, I guess I never really listened to Art Bell. I should Google it sometime for fun. But I listened to Coast to Coast, but with George Norrie. Yeah. Thanks so much for the call, Richard.
And I will sit here skeptically and reject all of your evidence.
I feel people's personal stories don't have to be evidence. I wouldn't try to convince someone of what happened to me. Okay. You know what I mean? Oh, it's evidence and it's proof now. It's proven. It's it's pretty freaking close to that for me. I've done my research trying to see what things could it be a human created thing that looks like what we saw or moves like what we saw. Because it didn't maneuver in a way I really think was impossible. It was just silent and really controlled. It didn't wobble. It was so weirdly straight and silent. Anyways, we were talking before Richard's call, which the first topic I didn't like, so glad I brought him back on. We were talking before Richard's call about the Mormons in Utah. Just kidding, I won't blame the Mormons specifically. We don't even know.
It's the Mormons.
We don't know.
They're worried about dirty dancing in a public arena in Utah.
It wouldn't spread
for the safety of the children.
My children.
Uh-oh, I see some minorities in this picture. Are they mad about that? Oh, see? It's not Provo, actually. It says a stock photo of dance fitness class in Amsterdam. Okay. So we still don't have any proof there are any minorities in Provo, Utah. I saw one. I'm going to call into the show and talk about it.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. So the Tanners say...
They're minorities for a reason, right? There's not that many of them.
Yeah.
It's kind of the definition.
It's a couple, Erica and Mattson Tanner, that run this. It's a franchise, like Richie Rich said. This arm of Dirtylicious Dance Fitness. And they were running in Provo, Utah in the public event center.
Rec center?
It's a rec center.
For
3 years.
Before somebody complained.
3 years.
Unscathed.
Yeah. Unscathed, like Richie Rich said.
And nobody was
And
harmed.
nobody stopped them. No one was like, oh, well, this is wild and insane. And
no complaints of impropriety against the minors.
It actually got kind of popular from what I hear, too.
I caught Riley standing outside the glass staring in and...
Exactly. Staring at them all before I moved to New Hampshire.
Nobody got hurt, in all seriousness. That they have the...
Is that why he's in Michigan? Is that why he's in Michigan? Did he get hurt by the dancing?
Wait, what? Who?
Nobody.
Oh,
you said
my
nobody
gosh.
got hurt.
Oh,
I haven't heard a
man.
nobody joke in so long.
I didn't even know he was gone.
Threw me for a loop. So...
I did not pay attention to locals anymore.
He's not a local. He's from Michigan.
I know.
Oh.
But I mean like the local libertarian-ish community.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what's going on.
See, when somebody says the locals, to me, it means like the people from here.
Okay.
That's fair. Townies, the locals, yeah. So basically the people in the city, the town, what was this? The Provo Recreation Center manager, Kathy Smits, aka Karen Smits, said, based on these considerations and in keeping with our operational standards, I have determined to discontinue the classes. The decision...
All on her own. She's the sole decider.
Yeah, on what everybody's...
What everybody can do.
Morals are.
Yeah.
Yep. This decision
It's
was
not even
discussed.
a community decision.
Oh, she says it was discussed with and supported by a citizen advisory board, which isn't like everyone, you know.
3 of her friends.
And plus, like, they do these like public meetings, even if it was public at all, like in the dead of, or not the dead of night, but a time period they, you know, announce the day before, and they have all kinds of tricks, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why it matters. The cancellation has raised questions about inclusivity, city policy, transparency, and the judging of community standards within public facilities. The removal of the class, a program described by its leader as empowering, especially for women, sparked community debate over the boundaries of acceptable recreation. Whoa, that's just like so gross. Just be like, it's just not acceptable with the things you choose to do for recreation. Riley?
So I don't want to like summon him again, right? But this is like another example of not having the community not having access of community property in reality, right?
Yep.
Like a small select group of citizens have decided for the community.
No, it's publicly owned.
what they can or cannot do with this collectively owned piece of property at whatever time they're doing it.
Yep.
Right? Like they should. But the reality dictates by this other example that they don't. Mm-hmm. And now citizens of that community who would probably like to dance, and there's probably more dancers and people participating than there are members on the community select board, right, are outvoted by a minority of people who have more power.
When stuff like this happens, I understand why the the Secret House Lives of Mormon Wives got invented as like, they can't do nothing fun in Utah. They created their show just to get the Mormons to like
The Secret Lives of
lighten up.
Mormon Wives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you watched it yet?
No, I haven't.
Listen to it, I guess.
No.
There was an older show about
pretty
Amish
entertaining.
going on their little Amish trip before they go back to being Amish again.
I feel like they
forget
just
what that was called.
Aren't all that entertaining like the Mormons. The Mormons just like
Okay.
blew up the TV screens and everybody's watching it. Like multiple people at PorcFest, like men, somehow it got brought up and they were like, I'm watching that too because my girlfriend was watching it. It's actually kind of entertaining. And they're like kind of ashamed of it. I'm kind of ashamed of it.
You should be.
It's awesome.
Well, I think Mormonism sparks interest because it's such an interesting religion, and I mean interesting, peculiar religion, because, you know, here you have a story of a 14-year-old boy claiming to see God, then 3 years later he's told by an angel that, hey, you're going to be translating a book and it's on gold plates near your house, and then eventually he's translating this book from gold plates.
The fact that really happened is really interesting.
No, what the interesting thing is how much power you can obtain if you just commit to your lie.
Oh my gosh. It's just interesting because they live so differently than the rest of the country.
No, Joseph, I'm telling you, I'm a virgin, and the whole religion, and then Mormons just bounce off of that.
Yep.
No, I'm totally seeing it in my hat.
Oh my gosh.
I'm translating with this rock in my hat. Don't you worry.
If you can commit to the lie long enough, you can convince everyone that it's the truth.
Yes.
He did all kinds of scams. Did you ever hear about all that? Like
No.
Before he became like
He was
the
a treasure
founder-
digger.
Yeah, he would say
Absolute treasure digger.
Okay.
or just like, you have something missing. I have a specialty in finding missing things, but really he stole it.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. Smart, I guess, for the 1800s. And
It's a good way to do it. Steal
You
the
couldn't
dog steal the dog and wait for the wanted posters to show up.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
How
Don't
much
give
would you
people
want?
ideas.
They already do it. He's
Oh.
one of them.
Yeah, but this was like before they had, GameStop cards or whatever it is people get scammed in nowadays.
No, you just return the dog.
Over the continent.
Return the dog and like, here's your dog back that I didn't steal. And here's my $500 reward.
I didn't
Then you
steal.
go next door and steal the other dog.
Oh my god, it's horrible.
Wait for that reward poster to
same-
pop up.
They have a newspaper article. This man has saved 10 dogs just this year.
It's amazing.
He's amazing. The removal of
FBI comes in with a sting operation.
No, they don't do anything
It's a
helpful.
dog plant.
They don't do anything helpful.
No, they don't.
They would be coming in and trying to catch him way after the fact, something like that.
They lose
or
the
they'd-
Epstein files. They'd
hire somebody to actually be dog napping and say
Yeah.
that they're doing it
Yep.
for catching the dog nappers. All the dog nappers suddenly are FBI agents. They're napping another FBI agent's dog. That's how they...
We are saving dogs, one dog at a
That's
time.
what would happen. The sting operation would be thwarted by the dog napping operation.
Yes.
So this whole thing with the Dirtylicious dancing has opened up this conversation about like what influence does the religion the Mormons have, the Church of the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints have over public programs and also just like the government laws and everything in general there. It freaked me out. It really did. It's like when I lived in Utah was one of the years that I was there. They changed the amount of blood alcohol content you could have.
To lower than, it's now 0.05 instead of 0.08.
Yep.
This is ridiculous.
It's like you can't even be a little tipsy and drive home.
Tiny girls should sue because
Yeah.
they have
I
a lower
agree.
tolerance.
I agree.
Well, they also already, way before I lived there, made the alcohol, even like all the brands, buy it in Utah, the alcohol content is lower than other states.
Yes.
Okay.
And when you buy a mixed drink, it's not as strong as you can get like in New Hampshire or somewhere else.
So you just got to drink more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just got to buy way more of the drinks and spend more money, I guess.
That's what happened when they like capped the size of, the largest drink you can get. And like, oh, I'll just take 2.
There you go.
And I drink more.
But then it's just way more expensive there.
Yeah.
I lived on a federal military base, so it didn't affect me because those laws, as far as neither of them affected me, I don't think.
Silliness and nonsense.
Yeah, it was just like really odd the way that everybody was okay with things getting voted into law just based on some people's religious opinion. It's crazy.
Well, I think Mormonism makes up now 50% of the state. But
This
which
says-
wouldn't be a problem if they weren't in politics.
Right here it says as recently as 2019, 90% of the population of Provo was affiliated with the church.
Okay.
The Chicago Tribune reported. But you were talking
Interesting.
about the whole state, but
Yeah.
Provo itself, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, Provo's unique because you have Brigham Young University there, which is a Mormon-owned private university, I might add. And it pretty much has the influence of Provo. It can influence Provo heavily because it's religiously affiliated and this town is trying to live up to moral principles, which I don't have a problem with, but...
Private property solves this.
Yeah, private property definitely solves this.
BYU is where soaking came from, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's a great thing. You probably can't talk about it, but that and Mormon bubbles
Just Google it.
are like my 2 favorite Mormon things.
And then you have Mormons that deny it entirely and say it doesn't really exist.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Of course. Of course they'll deny it. But we also know it exists.
Yeah.
Because even if it didn't exist, the minute it became a phenomenon or a thought, someone was going to try it.
Yep.
And then it's a thing.
Even
The jumping. As soon as you add that in, someone's going to try it.
The thing about anything like this is it's like everybody on the whole planet except the people participating in and teaching this class could agree that it's like not good for the people doing it, and it just shouldn't matter because it's not affecting anyone else.
Yes. It's only affecting the people doing it.
It's really not a situation where it could possibly affect someone else.
It's a dance class.
Yeah.
It's not harming anybody.
If you don't want to dance, don't go to the dance class.
Oh, well, they have windows.
If you don't want to see people dancing, don't walk by the dance studio. And if you're compelled to walk by the dance studio, avert your eyes.
Yeah, it's totally possible to avert your eyes. Now it's just interviewing this girl that started the dance class, and she just wanted a meaningful role in helping with the services offered at this place. And you know, that's...
Other services besides teaching you how to dance?
Yeah, because it's a recreation center. But that goes back to what Skeeter was trying to say. I don't really care about summoning him at this point because he is not going to get on there.
Thank you.
You can't just be like, well, I'm part of the community too. She said she's lived here since she was 2 or something, 2002. And it's like she decided she wanted to do her thing, bring her skill set or whatever, dirty dancing, to the recreation center. She doesn't get to just do that, even though it's a family-friendly, tax-funded facility.
There's your problem right there.
Wow, that's Smith saying that too. Of course, she says it's a family-friendly, tax-funded facility, but it's tax-funded. Like, you don't get to choose if it's family-friendly or not, you know? But apparently, according to Skeeter, that's the definition of the word, like public property. You're supposed to all be able to agree on it, and it's just like, that doesn't
work
happen
that way, Skeeter.
No, because like I said, the people who want to dance were outvoted by a smaller minority of people with more power.
And like I said, the people in the classes obviously live there, so they can't possibly say everybody agrees.
Yep.
Erica Tanner said, I live in Provo. This is really weird. She was surprised the city responded to one complaint so aggressively. And that's another weird thing to point out. It's like they were waiting for it or something. Did this lady, Kathy,
we can't do anything until someone complains. All of a sudden, an anonymous complaint comes in.
Right, exactly. The couple says they met with city officials several times to ask why the class was an issue, if there were compromises to be made, and what could be done to continue the program. In that meeting, we asked, specifics like what morals, what are these standards, what are the policies, like specifically, Time
to build a dance dozer.
Where are, oh no. Has a tutu. Well, I don't think they're wearing tutus at the Dirty Licious Dance facility, whatever the heck it's called. She said, where are things that don't align? We're more than happy to adjust. We're more than happy to work with you guys. We want to collaborate in this. And her husband, Mattson, said they tried to understand what rule, if any, was violated, but they were met with no real answers, which is like another part about this being private property.
Public property.
Oh, sorry, public property. You're not going to be able to even have a conversation with these people because they are control freaks on a power trip, and what they say goes.
And immune from repercussions as members of the city council.
It would be like super, super hard to give them repercussions at all, and it's like...
Vote them out next term.
Yeah, and that's what Skeeter would say. He'd be like, yes, you get a say, you get to vote.
No,
you do. You get to vote.
Except my vote doesn't really count when it's 30,000 people.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a good point. And that's all we have for Free Talk Live tonight. But if you're a Pearl Clutcher, call in next week on Saturday to talk to us about it, or visit freetalklive.com for more Free Talk Live. Thanks for listening. Peace.
This hour of Free Talk Live is brought to you by Dash Digital Cash. Dash is the cryptocurrency designed to be used for spending. In addition to being one of the world's first cryptocurrencies, Dash was the first crypto project to have a decentralized autonomous organization that to this day continues to improve and promote Dash. Every month, 10%